Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week, in Logan, Ohio, a couple's breakup ensnares the whole family, causing disastrous results and one grisly discovery. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. We're excited this week. We're pumped up. We're past the two-parter last week of the Jablonski disaster.
Thank God for closure.
What a mess that was.
Is that even closure?
I don't know if that's closure, but if you missed the two-parter, you should check out the two-parter because it's a crazy case. It's one of those cases where, as I was doing research for it, I'm sitting here going, how does everyone not know about this guy? How do we know about everything else? I'm convinced it's just because he killed mainly women he knew.
Yeah.
So that's why. So it's like, well, that's not scary enough for people. So then they go move on to someone who kills strangers because that's what people are freaked out about. Either way, we have a wild episode this week.
And I was doing like dick drawings with real. Is that?
Oh yeah.
Was that pubic hair? Or was that head hair?
It looked like it was hair.
It was like
who knows where?
Drawing where they put
who knows where it came from?
Where they put the cotton balls. He put hair.
Yeah, like a bunny tail. It was pretty disturbing. Thank you guys this week for your reviews on every format, every platform, your iTunes, purple icon, Apple Podcast, whatever the hell those reviews are. Those mean the world to us. They really help drive you up the charts.
Really?
So get on there. Give us a review if you don't mind. If you have not done it yet, give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our ego. So say whatever you want on there, whatever platform you're on. Also, head to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your small town murder on crime and sports needs, all of your merchandise and everything like that. Check that out. And if you're not listening to Crime and Sports, you're missing out.
You
because
really blew it.
I got to tell you guys, it's hilarious. Yeah. It's look, stepping back, it's a damn good show. Let's just say that. I wish I wasn't on it so I could say how goddamn great it was.
So you could enjoy it.
So I could enjoy it as much as we hope you do. Do that. If you want to be a hero of ours, one of our producers, very easy to do. You can go to patreon.com/crimeandsports and you can make a donation there, or you can head over to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com, and you can find both of those links right from shutupandgivememurder.com, which is pretty awesome. I think we need to do a disclaimer.
I'm afraid so.
At this point, we do. We need to do a disclaimer. This is a comedy podcast. That's just the way it is. The facts are real. Everything's real. We're going to talk about dark shit. We're going to talk about murder and things like that, but there's comedy around it. That's the thing that it is.
Of it.
There's comedy around it, and what we don't do, though, is we don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
Thank God.
And that's how it works there. So we think that's going to be all right. So if you think that sounds fun, let's do this. If not, if you think true crime and comedy never go together, if that's like a thing in your mind, then you probably shouldn't listen to the show, because
for you,
I doubt you'll like it.
No.
But if you want to have a good time in a not shitty way, then join up. We're going to have a blast. How's that? I think you should shout from your car, from your rooftop, from your cubicle, from your damn treadmill, wherever you are. Shout, shut up!
And give me murder!
That's right. Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's go on a trip, Jimmy.
Please.
What do you say? Let's go here. We're gonna head to the Midwest.
Okay.
Back to the Midwest. So we've been kind of bouncing back and forth. We were in, obviously, California last week in the last 2 weeks. So we need to get a little Midwest grounded here. Okay. So we are going to go to, this is as Midwest as you get.
Really?
Right here. Oh, this is like, I'm surprised presidential candidates don't just sit in this town. This is the town they need to swing every year. Yeah, it's in Ohio, so there you go. Yeah, exactly. This is as middle America as it gets. We're going to Logan, Ohio here. It's in south central Ohio, kind of off to the east a little bit, but in southern Ohio. It's outside of Columbus, about almost an hour outside of Columbus. So it's not, and Columbus isn't the biggest city, capital, but not the biggest city. So it's, it's one of those things where it's kind of out there. It's 3 hours to Cleveland, 2 hours and 20 minutes to Cincinnati. So it's right in the middle, is away from those two, the big cities there. About 2 hours to Waynesville, which is our last Indiana episode, episode 69.
Was it that long ago?
That was that long ago. It was almost a year ago. So we need to get another Ohio in there.
Right.
You Ohioans murder the shit out of each other. Luckily for us. So it's in Hocking County, like hocking something up out of yourself.
H-O-C-K?
H-O-C-K.
Yuck.
Or you are in need of some sort of quick money, and you have
That's
something
usually
valuable.
H-A-W-K, isn't it?
I think it's hawk.
But it's the same sound.
The same, whatever. Zip code 43138, area code 740. It's about 5 square miles, so it's a kind of an average-sized town with average stuff going on. It's as we'll see. This is very middle America. Motto here, the Pearl of Central Ohio, which that's not actually their motto, but you believed it, right? They don't have a motto. Use that. Who cares?
That's pretty solid.
It's fine. It's as good as anything else.
Vague and boring.
You went, all right.
Makes sense.
Put that on your website at the top. Who gives a shit? It's better than nothing.
Right.
Just a blank space. I mean, it could be. I don't know. They have caves there.
What is the slogan of Ohio? Do we even know that?
It's the Buckeye State.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, the Buckeye State.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because ours is it's the Grand Canyon State. But there's a slogan for it, too.
Shit knows if there's a slogan.
I wonder what it is.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Who knows? I didn't know Arizona had a slogan. I don't know anything about it.
Of course it does. I think they all have one separate from what they put on their license
probably.
plates.
They all have like an E pluribus unum stuck in there, I'm sure.
Is Land of Enchantment on New Mexico?
It's on their license plates.
Is this? Okay. I don't know.
But that's like New York's the Empire State. This is the Grand Canyon State. Missouri's the Show Me State, and all that shit.
There's more of that shit. That's like their little...
Yeah, their little whatever. It's on their license plate. You know, the Keystone State or whatever.
What is that one?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Is that where the beer's from? Probably.
I'm sure. It's the Keystone State, so I don't know.
I think it's brewed by Coors. Yes.
Maybe. There's a bunch of beer, but I mean, who knows where it came from originally,
right?
Like before Coors bought it and put it under their corporate umbrella.
That's a good point.
So,
some asshole brewing it in his Pennsylvania apartment.
That's what I mean. Some shithole like Rolling Rock is Latrobe, Pennsylvania. That's not owned by some little company anymore.
Is that really from Pennsylvania too?
That's what's on the bottle. I don't fucking know.
I didn't know
Latrobe,
that.
Pennsylvania.
I've drank a ton of that garbage. I've drank it.
Alcoholism runs rampant through Pennsylvania. So my family's from there, and they make up a chunk of it. So I can say that for a fact. These are people with kegs at home.
Yeah.
You know, they just have beer taps going all the time, and you know, they like to drink. Yeah. So Logan's the county seat of Hocking County.
Really?
Ooh, yeah. I forget it's a small county. They keep the records there. Remember that people fight over that. People have fought and died for paper. That's what happens.
There's blood on these papers.
There's blood on these papers. It makes them important. Residents apparently named the town in honor of Chief Logan, who was of the Mingo or Minjo, I'm not sure, Indian tribe.
I think it's Mingo.
I think it's Mingo, too. He was known as Logan the Orator.
Oh.
Or the Orator.
He was the guy that
he's
spoke.
speaking.
Yeah.
He was a Cayuga guy. He was a leader. He was born into the Iroquois Confederacy, which was a bunch of these 6 nations together. He moved in 1760s to the Ohio area and became affiliated with the Mingo tribe. He took revenge for family members who were killed by white settlers in Virginia.
He was ruthless.
Yeah. This was known as the Yellow Creek Massacre.
Jesus.
So he orchestrated a massacre, and his actions against them helped spark another war, the Dunmore War, later on in that year. This
That's
is
awesome.
Right before, you don't hear much about that shit because this is like 1774 and 1775.
Oh, something major happened right after
overshadowed slightly. You know, these little skirmishes that are going on are way overshadowed by
how fascinating
fighting an empire.
We've got a country who's like, we're claiming this country at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, they're all being slaughtered by the indigenous people of the land. That's hilarious.
They get slaughtered, and then the white people go back, the Europeans go back, and they get a whole shitload of guys when they overrun it. That's how
hilarious that they're claiming it while their people are being slaughtered.
Like, no, we're fine. That shit's flying at them. People are charging. No, it's good. We're fine. This is ours.
Declaration while heads are being chopped off.
Everything's good.
That's amazing.
You know what? That's very Midwestern of them, honestly. Just everything's fine. Nope. I didn't see an arrow fly by me. No, not at all.
It's
a hatchet? I have no idea what you're talking about. This is fine. This is good. Everything's good. We're enjoying it here. Life is good.
How fucked up is England? That's what we were fine with that.
Yeah.
A hatchet just benosed me.
Yeah.
And I'd still rather be here.
That's right. That's
amazing.
Happens, man. So, in 1869, which is right after the Civil War, there's another war for you. The U.S. government, Jesus Christ, the U.S. government had the Indians in this area removed, and taken to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And just put there, basically.
Not put on a chartered nice flight.
No, there was 3 tribes around there, and they were all moved to Ottawa County, Oklahoma. Yeah. And in 1881, a band of Cayugas from Canada joined the Seneca tribe there, and shortly before Oklahoma became a state, they gave a bunch of these people, members of these tribes, individual land allotments, and basically they tried to. The American government was trying to get rid of the tribal owned lands. Like, never mind your tribe, we'll give, you and then you and you all separate lands.
Right.
They're trying to basically force the idea of personal land ownership onto them, because that wasn't an idea that the Native Americans had at the time.
I don't think they have that still.
There wasn't I own this lot of land. That's not how they thought of shit back then. Right. So they were trying to introduce that, commerce to them, basically.
Right. I think they still believe that we're just here borrowing and we're supposed to keep it the way it was when we got here.
That's a very upbeat way of looking at it. Yeah. So Logan, Chief Logan, became known for a speech later known as Logan's Lament, where he after the war, the war that happened over his massacre.
Sure.
Over that he made a big speech, and then people started calling him the orator after that.
Got it.
Because he was so goddamn good.
He had a thought and he articulated it.
He's an articulate motherfucker.
Yeah.
So in 1880, this is interesting. 1880, there was 2,600 people living here, and they had 3 newspaper offices, 6 churches, 2 banks, a railroad that passed through there, manufacturing businesses. They had a railroad that was a big employer, and an iron and steel company also that was a big employer.
Great.
Now I found some records from back then, which is fucking awesome, which has like the values, total values of like certain things, like in amounts of money that the town has. And
is this the equivalent of the sales?
This is a town's records of everything. The first thing I found in this record, which is amazing, is number of sheep killed by dogs.
They could keep track of that.
In 1882, 395 sheep were killed by dogs in a town of 2,500 people.
How the hell?
That seems like an excessive amount of dog murder on sheep. Dog on sheep violence. That seems like a lot.
Seems like they should pass a law.
Yeah, it was just like just very predatory here. Just
put some leashes on those fucking things.
Jesus Christ, I get there's no fences, but fuck me. How many vicious sheep-killing dogs do we have out here? My dogs, I don't think would kill the sheep. They just walk up to them and be like, what the hell are you?
Yeah.
I don't think they'd attack
Frankie
them and take them down.
It.
Yeah, Benny would be very excited to see him.
He'd play.
Yeah, the value of these sheep were $1,448 of the dead sheep.
For 300 of them?
For 395 sheep.
Almost 400.
Number of injured sheep, 259. Damage to the injured sheep, $599. What is it? Collection from dog tax is $2,710. And
for a year.
And so that's there. They talk about the births here. White males, 276. White females, 294. Black males, 13. Black females, 6. And that's there.
How many sheep?
They don't say how many sheep are born. Only murdered by dogs. That's the only important stat they have.
Give a shit about.
That's it. Now they have a category called pauperism, which is amazing. Males in infirmary, I guess these are sick people that have no money, 47. Females, 58. Number admitted during the year, 35 males, 41 females. They have paupers, otherwise supported by the county, 40 males and 54 females. I guess this is like their welfare roll.
Got it.
Because these are non-hospitalized people here. Total number of all paupers, $275.
They're wards.
Yeah, they're wards of the county. Cost of keeping the infirmary to the county, $7,205.
What a deal!
That's amazing for hospital costs.
I bet it's the same today, but they just charge you.
They just charge you a lot more. Cost of keeping the paupers alive, I suppose. It just says cost of keeping other paupers. I don't know, keeping them like they're rabbits in a cage. What the fuck is that? $3,756.72. So that's not bad to take care of all the poor people.
That's pretty good.
It's not too shabby. Cost of all paupers, including medical and everything else, over to almost $11,000. 17 cents is the cost per pauper per day to the to the county. They break it down to that.
That's a great deal.
That's not bad at all.
It's better than adopting an African child.
That's on TV. The
37 cents a day or whatever it is.
37. The old Sally Struthers commercials. Or the total deaths 192, marriages 285, white marriages, 7 black marriages. They had 350 mortgages recorded for $2.5 million in mortgages put there. So not too bad there. I find this shit so interesting.
I love that you found this.
This is so fucking cool here. There's all sorts of tax information. The dog tax a little more. Dog tax, $1 per capita is 1681. So I think they had 1681 dogs.
Yeah.
So that's one each. So now we know how many dogs there were. They had a poor tax, which I guess was to take care of the aforementioned paupers. They made $12,000 off that. They had a bridge tax, a road tax, a township tax, a sub-district tax.
Yeah.
So you were being taxed back. Whenever people are like, no, there was no taxes back. It's bullshit. There was no tax
for everything.
You were taxed for fucking everything, because otherwise nothing got paid for.
They just told you what each and every dollar was going to. Now there's too much shit.
They just don't know it because there's so much.
Right.
You can't look at every nut and bolt of the federal budget. And you can look at it if you want, I'm sure, but you're not going to get through it very far before you go, I don't fucking care anymore. Whatever. How much? Whatever. I don't care.
How much is my share?
Do I have to not look at it? If I can not look at it anymore, I'll just pay what you say I owe at this point. I'm tired.
The poor tax, they were making more money than it was costing them for paupers.
Yes, it's a 12,000 to 10. They made a profit on a pauper profit.
Surplus.
They got a pauper profit there. We need more paupers because we're going to a couple bucks on the side. Yeah, we can siphon some cash off. Now they have personal property here, money and credits. Number of horses, 4,895.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of horses. Value of horses, 283,000. So you can know how much a horse was worth back then. They had 12,242 cattle, 268 mules, 86,996 sheep. That's why they didn't notice all those sheep being killed that much by dogs and didn't give a shit, because they had a shitload.
A lot of them.
A lot of sheep. 6,752 hogs, 705 carriages. Yeah. They have the number of watches in the town. Back in the day, they used to go through.
How can you count all that?
Well, they used to go through and assess everything for tax purposes. Like, I remember, the only reason I know this is from A Christmas Story. This is how stupid I am, the movie. Remember in A Christmas Story, was it A Christmas Story? It was one of those, I don't think it was A Christmas Story. One of those movies where the tax guy was coming, everybody was like hiding their shit. Like, oh, we're poor, we don't have anything. They used to take inventory of everything you had.
Is that why there's sales tax now, so that you don't have to have that fucker in your house?
I suppose, or people just, I don't know what the hell happened there.
Otherwise, I mean, why would you give a fuck about how many I paid taxes when I bought the goddamn thing.
Maybe they didn't then. So number of watches, 658 watches in the whole place out of 2,600 people. It's not a lot of watches.
No.
Number of pianos and organs, 415. There's almost as many pianos and organs as fucking watches in this town. What is happening? This is Motown fucking proper here. What is going on?
It's impressive.
That's a lot. Yeah. During the late 19th century, a lot of coal mining here. It was mainly coal mining into the 20th century. There's plenty of coal mining here in this county. That's where most of the jobs ended up. These are hard ironworks, coal mining. Yeah. This is hard scrabble shit here. Yeah. You got to be tough,
fucking
you're a callous-handed son of a bitch. Yeah, not bad. Now I found some current alerts on the town website in case you're planning on going there. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Boil alerts are in effect.
Ew.
Which means you got to boil your water before you can do anything with it.
Oh, that's what it means.
Because it's
even
fucked
grosser,
up.
Actually. I was thinking like the people had boils.
Oh God, that's amazing. Boil alert! They're broken out all over town.
Don't drink the water.
Don't kiss anybody.
But actually boil your water or else you'll get boils.
All over you.
Jesus.
Head to toe.
That's a boil alert.
That's a boil alert.
That's gross.
There are boil alerts in effect for the following locations: Edge Hill Drive, Edge Hill Circle, Belva Court, Pine Ridge Apartments, and Vine Street from Edge Hill to Zanesville. These boil alerts are in effect until further notice.
That is disgusting.
Your water's fucked up, so boil it. We don't know when it's going to be fixed.
What? Why would... No.
Have a good one.
Why would you live there?
Make sure to check the town website before you take a drink if you're from this area, by the way. It's like a snow day. 2-hour delay this morning in Vine Street, Edge Hill.
That is so
Pine Ridge
gross.
Apartments. Also on the county site here is they have dog tag winners. Number one dog tag winner. And it's this year's dog tags winner. This is on their town website.
They're all free tags?
This is right under the boil alert.
Okay.
Which is super important. Boil your water or you'll die. That's pretty important. And then they have dog tag winners directly below it. This year's winners are: number one dog is Zoe.
Yeah.
Owner is a woman named Candy Mullins. Candy will receive a free lifetime dog tag.
Great.
She won't have to renew with the city.
Boil her water.
But boil up. Boil up, Candy, before you feed. Give little Zoe any water. It's probably a little tiny dog. Number two dog is Woody.
Yeah.
Owner is Bobby Bishop. Bobby will receive a $30 gift certificate to the Millstone restaurant. This is right below boil your fucking water or you will get sick. This is just as important, or almost.
Here's a $30 gift card to a restaurant where we don't know if they boiled their water.
Good luck. Hope it's not one of those places. Dog number 3 is Bear.
Yeah.
Owner Charles Ode. Charles will receive a $25 gift certificate to the Hungry Buffalo restaurant. right below boil your water.
Right below don't die. We're giving away, we gave $50 away. That's it.
That's it. Well,
and then lifetime tag. $55 bucks.
Tag is free.
And lifetime tag.
That's the whole.
The dog, why don't you give them like 2 years of free tags?
Just put that above the water because that's what you really care about.
Yeah, I care about those dogs.
Yeah. Resident, and no pictures of the dogs that won these tags. That's the other thing, too. Have a picture of the fucking dog if you're going to tell us about it.
Why'd it win?
This dog's great and it won a prize. Fucking show me how cute it is. I like dogs. Show me how cute your goddamn dogs are if they're so fucking special. Earn your lifetime dog tag, you motherfucker. All right. I got a resident review.
Oh, these are the best.
Yeah. Quote: Logan is a lot like a lot like a lot of other small towns.
You want to start that over?
No. Why do they say a lot twice in one sentence? Logan is a lot like a lot of other small towns.
Yeah, that's confusing.
That's why I'm like, this can't be correct. It has that small town family feel, and everyone knows everyone. There's a lot of drugs.
Oh,
that's the small town family feel. It seems like every other person here is involved in drugs or crime, and everyone has at least one relative that's addicted to something. Sounds great. Yeah. It's also very narrow-minded and sheltered town, and there's not much diversity here. 2 stars.
Sounds like his dog lost.
So they had lost 2 stars. He lives somewhere above, though they do live somewhere where they don't have to boil the water. Yeah, so that's the extra star. Nice. That's not bad. People, 7,030 people population right now. It's up 6% since 1990. Okay. People with a lot of extra pots and pans, I guess, to get their water boiling. Median age here is almost 40, 39.6, which is about 2 years older than normal. Mm-hmm. Most of the ages, though, are pretty on point. Okay. A little skewed here and there, but nothing crazy. Female population is actually almost 54%, Jesus. Which is way out of whack considering that the ages aren't. Usually it's only when it's older people. Yeah. You get that when there's more older people. Married population's a little less than normal. So single's a little more, obviously. Single with no children, though, is less than normal.
How about that?
So it's a little weird. Single with children, a little bit higher. Okay. So you'll get married, you will get divorced, and the divorce rate's higher here. Okay. And you will have kids.
If you don't boil my water, I will divorce you.
Right, and then you'll go to the bar looking for more people who are single with children. So race of this town, 95.2% white. Mm-hmm. Pretty fucking white. Yeah. This is a white town.
As the snow.
0.81% black, 0.44% Asian.
Oh.
So nothing. That's not a lot at all. It's usually 5%.
Not even half of 1%.
Not even half of 1%. Even it's Hispanic, 1.61%.
This is very Ohio.
This shit is white. Yeah, it's very white. 25% religious here, which is half the norm. Yeah, it's usually 50%, which is, right away I'm like, this is awesome. Right. Which is weird because our story involves some kind of weird religion in a way. So it's interesting here. And they're spread out. There's some Methodist, Lutheran, a couple of Catholics. Nothing really dominates the religious spectrum here. Just not Jewish. That's 0.0% Jewish.
Not a one of them.
No, 0.0% Muslim. Okay. All different sects, but they're all kind of walking toward the same destination. Everybody here, I feel like. Yeah. So the politics in this town, 29% voted Democrat in the last election, and 66% voted Republican. Okay. So it's a conservative. When they show the maps on election day, and you see like all the Columbus is all blue around there. This is the red parts around Columbus. That's they go, these Columbus suburbs and outside and outskirts, this place. That's what they're talking about here. Not for good or bad. That's
just the way Ohio is.
That's the way it is in this place. So, unemployment rate here is, pretty normal. It's about 5%, which is a little high. Right now we're at about 4%.
Are we?
In the country? Yeah, 3.9%.
It's going up?
It's going down. Well, 3.9%.
Wasn't it 3.7 recently?
That fluctuates day to day with that kind of, or month to month with the 0.2%. Gotcha. But it's still, we're getting to the point where it's a tipping point the other direction.
Got it.
And mathematically, you need more people to need work, to make shit work. Anyway, household income here, normal in the country is about $54,000. Here it is $35,000. Okay. So income is low as well. 22.5% make under $15,000 a year.
Almost a fourth of the town.
Almost a quarter of the town makes under $15,000 a year. So that tells you a little something. Fuck? I'm sure, I don't know. They're
just broke.
It seems that's tough.
Are they all paupers?
Well, no, they're all paupers. This town's a pauper town. Logan, Ohio, Pauperville, the pauper of Central Ohio. They can change the logo or the motto. There's also way less people that make under 100,000 than there usually is here. And, it's tough too. When you look at like the jobs, they're all kind of on point with the averages, this much retail trade jobs, this much healthcare, but there just seems to be less money here. Cost of living 100 as the normal average regular. Here it's 89. Mm-hmm. So you look at that, you're like low income, but regular cost of living.
That's not good at all.
That's a bad thing. But housing is low. Housing is a 65 out of 100.
Okay.
Median home cost here is $121,700.
Still can't do it.
That's still tough on if you're making under $15,000 a year. A lot of the houses are between $60,000 and $150,000. There's a good chunk, about half the houses are in that range. Yeah. And if we've convinced you, you need to go slow it down a little bit and head to Logan, Ohio.
Step back in time.
Step back in time. We have for you the Logan, Ohio Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here is about $830, which seems high.
It does.
For the cost of living. 3-bedroom, 2-bath home I found here, 1,200 square feet. It's a little run down. Yeah. It's got some issues. It's not perfect, but it's $36,000.
You can do that.
So you can make that work and put some cash into it. Found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,893 square foot house. Okay. Needs a paint job. The paint's kind of peely on the outside and shit.
They got water.
Good bones, though. It's got like a separate garage, and it's got a nice big front porch and shit like that. $99,900 for almost 1,900 square feet.
I just keep thinking about that person making under $15,000.
That's tough. Well, they wouldn't be buying anything.
To rent, though, at $800, you got to work 2 months to pay 1 month's rent.
No shit. I found a 6-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,518 square foot house.
Okay.
It's nice. It's got like, vinyl siding and shit like that, but it's a nice house. $199,900.
Okay.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You can have an ass load of kids there and plop them into that house and still afford it.
You're the richest in town.
Yeah, if you own the fucking, I don't even know.
Everything.
The Ironworks or whatever. Things to do in this town.
This is my favorite.
I love these. This is right off the site here. Every year on Father's Day weekend, the downtown streets of Logan, Ohio come alive with the celebration of the washboard.
Oh.
Logan is the home of the...
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
You know it. Home of the Columbus Washboard Company, the only remaining washboard manufacturing company in the U.S., because people don't use fucking washboards anymore.
Because we got us a fucking washing machine.
We got us a fancy machine that done turn the clothes around and around.
Wouldn't you have loved to see the face of the fucking guy that is making those when they told him about Maytag?
Shit. Really? No, that won't last.
Get the fuck out of here.
People like to rub their clothes back and forth on a metal surface. It's
what
never
the hell
gonna change.
are these dumb women gonna do?
It's never going to. They can't figure out machines and such. I ain't doing the laundry. No. Washboard's going to be fine. Now, washboards continue to be used as instruments of laundry day in some parts of the world, not civilized ones, and they add decorative value to many homes.
What?
Hill homes,
what,
maybe.
To staple it to the wall?
To the wonderful whites of West Virginia?
The only way that a washboard is useful today is for hillbilly bands. That's it.
Next line. But this artifact of the ages is more known as the source of that toe tap and rhythm coming from jug bands and Dixieland groups throughout the country. It all began in rural America in the mid-1800s, where music was a centerpiece of family entertainment, but money was scarce.
Yeah.
So the washboard, an empty jug, along with a stick and a string attached to a metal tub turned upside down, became the backwoods answer to Saturday night at Carnegie Hall.
Good Christ.
This is on their fucking site.
Saturday night at Carnegie Hall. Or a washboard,
That's the equivalent. Yeah, same thing.
Thunk.
Yeah.
That's the alternative.
That's it.
All
right.
right.
Modified to form a vest that hangs from the shoulders. That same raspy sound of energy became the source of rhythm for Cajun music throughout the bayou. Yeah. Yes, the washboard is certainly king of this festival, but you will also discover that hometown feeling of community pride, showcasing arts, crafts, food, tractor show, the pride, Jimmy, in the tractor show, and a parade, as well as activities for the kids, all of which are continually upgrading to keep the fest fresh and interesting for all ages. Welcome to Logan, the heart of the beautiful Hocking Hills, and enjoy Ohio's most unique festival.
Oh, boy.
Holy balls.
No. I want nothing to do with your fucking festival.
I don't know what to say
the
about
washboard.
That's what it doesn't even need commentary.
It's the only one left.
That's it. One place. There they are. And they make them specifically so a bunch of hillbillies can sit around and go, ain't this music great?
Drag a spoon across it.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I love when things are so funny. We don't even have to say anything. Yeah. We just read it and then just go, yeah.
Let's giggle.
Come on. Yeah, let's just giggle for a while because that's ridiculous.
How dumb.
Sometimes shit writes itself.
They gotta really start thinking of some shit to sell because that is dumb.
That sounds bad.
That seems useless.
And that's
how many antique shops can you sell those things to?
How many washboards in this? That's what I want to know. What's the washboard?
Yeah.
I want to know watches, pianos, and organs and washboards in this town right now. Crime rate here, property crime is double the average.
Yeah.
So they will steal your washboard.
Fucking right.
That's why they're nailing it to the wall so nobody steals it. That's the only reason why.
Display it, otherwise it'll disappear.
Fuck yeah. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault. Don't forget assault. The Mount Rushmore of crime is about 10% under the average nationally. So it's pretty close there, but
that's
double
why you
property.
Strap it to your chest.
Yeah. Someone's going to fucking steal it so it's hanging from your shoulders.
In the form of a vest.
Oh my God. Nothing worse than a washboard vest. You got a washboard stomach there, I know.
Well, listen. Matthew McConaughey jealous of this one.
Wow.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your
all different.
Multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure, yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
So let's talk about a murder.
I would love to.
Yeah, I think it's time here. Murder time. Let's talk about a couple here that lived in this area for a while. William and Sandra Inman we'll talk about. Okay. Bill and Sandy they go by. Old Bill and Sandy. They sound like a
Midwestern couple.
Salt of the earth kind of couple here. Bill and Sandy Inman. They have a son named William Jr. Yeah. As we know from Crime and Sports, that is a bad sign right away. Good. Well, I mean, we don't know anything now, but it's never good.
No.
They're always going to be either a victim, a perpetrator. They're going to be involved in something.
Crime will touch their life.
Yes, if you name them Junior. Yeah. It's just, they can't help it, too. That's the thing. It's just, it's genetics. Yeah. It overcomes genetics, environment, everything, and just takes it all over. He goes by Willie.
Okay.
So Bill and Willie are dad and son here. Bill, Sandy, and Willie are the family. People who knew them describe Willie as a kind of a spoiled kid always, and kind of always just very spoiled, wanted his way with his parents and wanted to be kind of a, just that kid. There's a lot of those kids that grow up like that. Now, he grows up with them and they're religious, the family.
Oh, no.
But they're not like, they're organized religious, but they kind of like want to have their own thing. Like he wants to be a preacher. A wannabe preacher's never a good thing. Like that's almost something you should fall into.
Or be court ordered.
Or be like people need to go, we would like to hear you tell us things about shit. And that's when you, like anyone who has ambition to do something
that
like
should
that.
be voted by the congregation. Yeah. The people should be like, did y'all hear Bill talk about Ecclesiastes? Like,
amazing.
Damn
it's
boy.
Fucking amazing.
You know what? This Sunday, it's his time to shine.
No one's ever started to try to be a comedian if no one ever told them they were funny. Someone had a bunch of people went, "You're pretty funny." And they went, maybe I should be a comedian.
Am I funny? I'm
going
to go find out.
I'll try.
Right.
This is different. This is just someone just completely unfunny who's like, I'm going to be a comedian. I've never made a soul laugh.
This is a preacher man going, you know what? To hell with God. I'm going to go work for drink tickets and a slice of pizza.
I can do it. I think that's better.
You know what? I would pay to watch that. I'd pay to watch a preacher man just go up and try.
Do the open mic circuit.
And then be like, now I'm going to pass around the collection plate.
I would love a preacher open mic circuit. That's right. I would go to preacher open mics.
Yes.
If there was just like everybody gets 7 minutes, they give them the flashlight from the back of the room. And they get 7 minutes to turn you to the word of whatever their crazy religion is. Right. It could be anything. That's the thing. You're trying to, just like anyone's crazy act, turn me to your way of thinking. And I just sit there and drink and eat like chicken wings. Right. And you try to spout your bullshit. No one cares, and then you eat a free slice of pizza and go home sad.
See if you're still a Christian after this show.
I would watch that. If that goes on anywhere, let me know, because I'm going to come watch. Like, better than open mic comedy by far.
It would crush open mics. It would kill them.
Which is basically 4 people would have to show up that aren't comedians
exactly
to crush an open mic. So that's how that works. Now, in 2004, his son is now an adult, and his son ends up growing up here and finding, before 2004, he finds a girl named Summer Cook.
Oh.
And they hook up, and they end up getting married. And they're young. They're, very young. She's 20 when they meet, or 19 when they meet, 20 when they get married. So it's a... kind of a
fiery.
It's a John Cougar Mellencamp situation here,
right there in Ohio.
But it's in the early 2000s, and this is whatever. So then they start having kids also right away. They end up having 3 kids that are spaced 2 years apart, pretty much. They're like at one point 1, 3, and 5.
So now she's 26 and has 3 kids.
At one point she's 25 and has 3 kids.
Oh boy!
So a couple years before that, though, in 2004, she's 20 years old, and she just hooks up with Willie, and Bill. He's trying to be a preacher, like we said here. He hangs out at the Faith Tabernacle Church in Logan, and he's like, he plays the piano there. I want that written down. One of those fucking pianos. And he also plays the guitar, and he's like, he does he's kind of the music guy.
Okay.
The old lady playing an organ on the Simpsons or whatever.
Yeah,
that's who we have here. He's him. But after a while, he married. Him and Sandy have been together since 1983. By the way, that's William Sr. and Sandy.
21 goddamn years.
21 years at this point. But back then, he always tried to kind of set up his own congregation.
Yeah.
He's kind of had a bunch of false starts and setups and fails, and it's hard to get people to think that what's happening in the universe.
Yeah.
you know what God thinks and what'll happen when they die.
And you got
how the fuck are you supposed to convince someone of that? It's a lot to get across.
And where are you going to get those people? Because you probably run across them at church. You're going to have to steal them from that church.
Yeah.
Now you're poaching. Now you're an
poaching.
asshole.
Yeah, now you're poaching. It's a tough thing. It's a
tough sell.
It's a tough sell.
I know more than he does.
You got to get them under you in your pyramid, and it's a very difficult thing. And so is that how it works?
It's kind of
I don't know anything about religion. I'm sorry.
The same thing.
I think I've seen documentaries and crossed them. I'm not sure. It's possible. So, anyway, they do this. Now, in the early 2000s, they have Summer and Willie living with them.
Oh, no.
Also, Summer and Willie always live with William and Sandy.
Okay.
Always, they always hang out there for some reason. I don't know. It's a money thing. They're a young married couple that has kids early, and they don't make a lot of money.
Right.
As we'll find out, she cleans banks at night. That's her job.
Lord.
And we'll find out from his income, he doesn't have much of an income here as well. Now, like we said, they end up having 3 kids. They always live there. Now, in 2004, they have a home in rural Hocking County here, and he converts his garage into a church. Bill does, the father, William Sr. Converts his garage into a church, and he's like,
Yep. There it is.
There it is. I built it.
A temple.
I built it. They're going to come.
Right.
Costner told me so. And he stands there with his arms crossed.
Yep.
And nobody shows up.
Right.
It just kind of sits.
Can you back the car out, Bill?
Can we put a sign on the lawn? Is that a thing?
Are we allowed?
Like a garage sale? We can nail some shit to the trees around.
Tell you what, I will plaster the neighbor's tractor at the next show.
Okay, let's do it. Shit.
Everybody will know.
We'll hand out flyers at the Washboard Festival. Everyone going to be there. It's going to be good.
Put my face on a washboard. We will have a congregation.
That's going to do it now. So at one point, the whole clan here, after this, the whole clan around 2005 moves down to Florida.
Oh.
The William and Sandra, apparently he thinks there's a lot of construction work down there. And so he goes down there. William and Senior and Sandra and Willie and Summer. All
moved down there.
They all head down to Florida with their kids, Sandra and, William and Summer's new kids, new baby and everything. They all go down there. They live down there for 2 years, where William Sr. and Jr. both do some construction work. They end up, though, having a hard time in Florida and losing a home that they had in Arcadia, Florida, to foreclosure.
Oh, and this is right around that fucking housing crisis.
They went in 2005. 2007, they got foreclosed on.
They got shut out.
So, this is right in the and also they're construction workers with a mortgage.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's brutal in 2008. So yeah, they lost work and their home in 2008 and had to return up to Ohio.
Yeah.
It's easier, it's cheaper, it's where they know whatever. So they returned to Ohio in mid 2008.
Okay. They went to Florida for more than a year and came back home without a meth addiction.
Nothing.
They're doing
amazing.
They're winning.
Right there. Yeah. The story,
as far as I'm concerned, they're winning.
The story's looking better and sunnier than it usually is for us. Honestly, we've spent time in Florida. No one's got a meth addiction. Good job. No one was stabbed by an alligator. I don't know how an alligator would stab you, but you know what? It's Florida. Whatever. Who fucking knows? Yeah. It's on bath salts or something. Of course it can stab you. I want to see, if anyone does art, I want to see a bath salt, just an alligator hopped up on bath salts threatening you with a blade. That's what I want to see.
I'll get that tattooed.
That's hot shit. Someone get that tattooed, because that should be on Florida's state flag.
Hell yeah, it should.
Just stay back.
The meth falcon in the back.
Yeah,
with
circling.
With a thought bubble above it and the N-word.
Yeah, perfect. Florida. Come to Florida, everyone.
Visit Kissimmee.
Visit sunny Orlando. Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Jacksonville, Miami, Hollywood, Florida. Come down. Visit Universal Studios. Holy shit. Come to Florida. So, they come back there to Ohio, and Bill gets a minister's license.
Okay.
Bill Williams Sr. I didn't know you needed a minister's license to just tell people. You need a license to tell people about, maybe, you know what, it might be for
marry people.
It might be for that. Yeah, it might be for that. Or it also might be some sort of thing for the tax exempt status. I was just going to say possibly.
That tax stuff. Oh, tax exempt.
To be a church, to be tax exempt, maybe they have to license you statewide.
There you go.
Can't be some jerk off going, I got a church. It's tax exempt. And you're selling
Jesus and shit.
You're selling coke and fucking writing it off as income from donations to the church, tax free.
We're snorting the body of Christ.
It's a good idea. Yeah. Someone do that scam, but don't say I told you to do it. But do it, because I want to know if it works.
He could tack boiled water up on the roof, and people will show up.
It's fine. They come for the washboards. They stay for the boiled water. That's how it works. So,
punch made after we boiled.
That's right. Now, his license is revoked after a while, and it's permanently revoked. I don't know what you have to do to get your license permanently revoked, but we don't know. That doesn't come up. He doesn't care, though. He's building this thing. He's building something that he calls Mercy Ranch. Okay. That's what he's calling his house. Mercy Ranch. And he says he wants to minister to orphans, widows, and the homeless.
Yeah.
It's Mercy Ranch. He's going for the weak and people in need of help. He says, quote,
desperate.
The desperate. Yeah, these are people that I might be able to bullshit.
Right.
I might be able to throw one by, an orphan.
Right.
That's a child.
Right.
Someone who's homeless who's like, you'll give me a place to stay and food. I'll listen. Or a widow who's just kind of distraught with the universe right now. Why'd you take my Harry? And then he comes in and fucking. Here we go.
Oh boy, people just looking for answers. Anybody.
He says this is what he wrote on the incorporation document filed with the Ohio Secretary of State's office. He wrote, quote, to help people who has lost their jobs. He wrote that on a fucking document asking to be incorporated. To help people who has lost their jobs or been cut back on hours keep their homes. So that's what he's trying to do.
Shit.
That's what he says. And that's what this area is kind of all about, is they just want to have jobs and keep their fucking homes. And that's what they're trying to do here. And because it's a hard scrap, a little bit economy.
That is impressive.
That's impressive.
Impressively dumb. How do you write that? And then the clerk not go, I think we have a misspelling.
He handed this to a man who was at least business casual.
Right.
He was wearing Dockers at the very least, or
there
a
were
woman,
buttons on his shirt.
Woman in dressed nicely or whatever. Whoever he was handing this to, they did their hair, they combed it that morning, they did whatever they had to do to be at that office. And he said, "I'd like to give this to people who has lost their jobs."
Everything's on the up and up here.
That's right. So I'll be getting that incorporation document and settling right into some donations pretty soon.
You betcha. You are impressively educated. You put pen to paper and wrote letters.
I'm impressed he found an application, filled it out, and handed it to somebody, honestly.
How did they not just slide it back and be like, start over?
Hey, dummy. First of all,
do this one again.
It's a nice idea. You ain't got no fucking money, and you can't spell. You don't know words.
You should definitely preach words to people.
See you at the Washboard Festival.
At least you don't have to make up the words.
That's true.
They're already in the book.
That's a fact. Now, to fund this whole thing, he set out to sell $10 raffle tickets, promising on a website to award a new home or $200,000 in lieu of a new home, whichever comes first, apparently, and 99 other big ticket prizes in September of that year, once 100,000 tickets had been sold and $1 million had been raised.
Okay.
So he says, I'm going to raise $1 million, and then we're going to raffle off a house and fucking a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
That equal
how many tickets did he sell, James?
We don't know. Not $1 million worth, and it doesn't quite work out.
Right.
People kind of come and they stay for a little while and they go, but they're like, this is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
He's just not good at this. He's not Charles Manson. He's not, we'll put it that way. He's not good at bringing people to the flock, really. Now, Summer and Willie begin to have problems at this point.
Yeah.
They have 3 kids. They're a young couple. They're like 25 years old with 3 kids. And that's hard enough as it's on its surface.
Right.
This is kind of like in the Florida case with Meth Falcon.
Right.
3 kid Meth Falcon there. That whole thing. It's kind of the same type of situation, but it's the case. It turns out totally different. But right off the bat, you're kind of looking at it as
they say money doesn't buy happiness, and that's true.
No,
but it will
buys less stress.
Right. It will make your relationship with somebody. Put 2 people that fucking hate each other together and give them money, and if they're level-headed and can spend it maturely, I don't know, they'll be okay. They might get divorced. Who knows? But if you put 2 people that fucking hate each other and then they're broke too, somebody's either dead or they're divorced in no time flat.
Plus, you can get people that like each other that they end up fighting over stress of not being able to pay their fucking bills, and then it's like that ruins the even good relationships. So money takes that stress out of it.
Absolutely.
People are still going to fight and not like each other, but at least they won't be fighting over that you spent $12 on McDonald's and we need that for
you got the last chip and I'm still starving.
That's a different thing. So this is interesting that they live with the parents. They're having problems here. She said that Summer writes a lot of journal entries. Okay. So we end up later on finding a lot of journal entries later on. So she said at this point, this is she's thinking about leaving Willie and leaving this whole thing, which is I would think if you're 25 and you have 3 kids and all that, that's a gutsy, it's a ballsy move. I mean, do it if you need to. I'm not saying it's a bad move. I'm just saying good for her. That's a ballsy move to be like, I'll figure this shit out, but I just don't want to be here.
Right.
So
I don't know if I'll make any money, but guess what I don't have right now?
Anything. And I got this asshole. She said, now they've been going together since high school too. I mean, this is
that's all she knows.
This is all she knows. She wrote in her book that she was, in her diary, that she felt controlled and was losing her sense of self.
Yeah.
But she's kind of in like a weird offshoot religion it's weird.
That's a mature thought to have at 25.
It is. Well, 3 kids will mature you up fast, maybe.
Yeah. It'll give you a new perspective on some shit. That's
big
for
time.
sure.
Spanking new, shiny.
But to have that phrase just locked and loaded, I'm losing my sense of self.
Sense of self.
That's impressive.
She's just talked about herself as a quote slave. She said that she described Bill and Willie as demanding and dominating men. Her husband and father-in-law. She said though Bill. Everybody said this too. Bill was the boss of the household. There's no fucking doubt about it. He's the pastor and he's also the boss. And this guy likes to be in control. Let's just put it that way. So that doesn't go. Nobody doubts that. She also wrote about wanting to find herself and also wanting to find love again. And she doesn't say whether she wants to go out and find love or rediscover it with Willie or whatever the fuck it is, but she just wants
to be loved.
She wants to feel love. Whatever, given or taken or anything.
Appreciated.
Exactly. She's just not happy with her life. I don't worry. I don't don't blame her.
Yeah.
She said that she also wrote that she worried that eventually she thought Willie might hurt her. She was kind of scared of him sometimes. She said physically, and when they start having problems and they separate, she tries to get a restraining order and says in an affidavit that Willie threatened to kill her if she ever took the children away from him. So she put that in a document on file at a court,
right?
And it had better grammar than Bill's religious application. I'll tell you that right fucking now. I'm sure, based on her previous paragraph, I feel like it's better. So by 2010, this is all still going on. This is when she's leaving Willie. She leaves him and files for divorce in June of 2010. So all of this became part of the divorce case. They subpoenaed her diaries, which is fucking crazy. Yeah. She says,
just like Facebook or any other. Yeah. It's your personal thoughts. We want to know them.
Yeah, we want to know them. Well, these became, what I think she added them, and also wasn't like, to show that she was feeling this back then.
Okay.
I was afraid of him. I wrote it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Type of thing. She said, quote, "I'm so tired of having to please everyone else, but leaving myself high and dry. Don't I deserve to be happy too? Don't I deserve to fall in love with someone again and feel love from someone again? I think so. I don't know if it's the right time to tell Willie or not. I feel bad not telling him because I think he deserves to know the truth and to know that I don't want to be with him right now. I want to be alone for a while and find out who I am again. I'm just some slave that runs around and does as she's told. I'm so used to just doing whatever everyone else wants that I've forgotten who I am. I love my kids with all my heart, and I wouldn't trade them for anything, but I don't want to watch them grow up. I don't want them to grow up remembering their mom as someone that just did as she was told."
I feel you, girl.
Right? "I would be okay with shared custody and wouldn't try for full custody unless he wanted me to or forced me to. I think that the kid should see both of us the same amount of time." This is very reasonable.
Yeah.
She's just not happy and is looking for a reasonable way out of it.
Yeah.
So that's fine. At this point, she's doing everything correctly.
Sure.
You can't blame people for fucking relationships falling apart. People drift apart. It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been there, Jimmy. It's not, it happens sometimes.
Still dismounting from it.
Yeah, you're still working on that.
Doing all right.
Yeah, I'm fucking skipping down the street far away. I don't even smell the smoke anymore.
I'm still unpacking.
I don't see the fucking flames in the back. If I turn around, I'm like, it's over the horizon. I just shrug. I go, all right. And I keep
still making chili dogs on
them.
Yeah,
you're still trying to throw buckets of water on it. So she says, quote, "I just don't know how Willie will react to all of this. I don't know if he will get mad and try to take his kids and run, or if he will threaten to hurt me, or worse yet, actually do it, or if he will be civil about it and let us try a separation and see what happens. I know his parents will gang up on me and try to get me to work things out and not want to leave me alone." Mm-hmm. So that's right away a concern because they're all in the same environment.
Yeah.
And if she's lived there for years and everything, it probably feels like they're her parents, like she has obligation.
And when that happens too, guys like that are domineering and controlling, they feel like you owe them something.
Oh, big time.
On exit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You've lived here rent free for how long?
Fuck yeah. Oh, he absolutely.
You got
thinks
some
that.
back paying to do.
You know that shit. She also says, quote, "But I don't think that I can work things out unless we are separated. I can't focus on myself and what I really want unless I don't have to focus on what he wants." Mm-hmm. He asked me last night during an argument what I wanted. I couldn't answer that because I don't know what I want. I don't know that I don't want. I know that I don't want this. I don't want to be unhappy and feel trapped. I don't want to know. I don't want to not know who I am anymore. But I couldn't tell him that, so I just sat there in silence. All I want to do all day is cry and sleep.
Yeah.
That's depression right there. Yeah. Big time. I just don't know how to get out of this situation and have it end well. Maybe by the next time I write, I'll have this figured out.
Yeah.
So this is affecting her. she's not angry.
No.
She's not. She's literally depressed about how her life is and wants to get out of a very depressing situation.
And with 3 kids, there's probably some postpartum that's attached to this. You know,
I was going to say her one kid is less than a year old at this point.
She's
too.
Dealing with that
so
shit.
She's got hormones happening, and she's got, which I mean, we're not saying
all those goddamn,
all them damn hormones, and she's bleeding out everywhere.
Period
milk
again.
shooting out of her titties. Of course, she's going to be messed up in the head. No, we're just saying there's such thing as postpartum depression, and her situation is depressing, and they're poor, and she's not fulfilled with a career or her life or her relationship, or she lives with her fucking parents, her father-in-law, who's a goddamn weirdo religious pastor guy. You can see why. All I would do is cry and sleep too if I was her. Jesus Christ.
I mean, the good thing that's going on here is that at least she can't drown her kids in a washboard.
That's the truth. Yeah, that's impossible. Physically impossible. That's not too bad. That's how they used to do it. Just scrape their head against it until they wore it down to nothing.
Them down to
nothing. And it's all right there. You flatten them out until they look like Stewie Griffin. Mashed them all out. Now, one guy, a guy ends up coming to Mercy Ranch, an unemployed man, to stay there and get back on his feet and I guess hear the word or whatever the fuck. This is a guy named Adam Peters. He stays there. Now, apparently, Adam becomes immediately interested in Summer.
Hell yeah.
Which she's a pretty girl too. I mean, she's whatever. She's 25. He's in his 20s. It makes sense that he would be interested in her. So she apparently was reluctant of this at first. And she's got 3 kids on premises and her husband's there and everything else. So, it's kind of a tough relationship.
Hard to prove that I'm into you when my husband's standing right there.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Me and Willie here, we're thinking. So, but he was interested in her and kind of made it obvious. So one day in her diary, she said that the moment she looked into his eyes, quote, I knew the devil had me. She says, quote, now I am sorry. Sorry that I didn't listen to what God was telling me. Sorry that I put myself into a bad position, a position where I could easily be taken advantage of and no one would know. He saw that in me. He saw that I was scared and made it his power, and it made his power even stronger. He saw that I didn't know what to do and that I couldn't tell anyone what happened. I tried to stop him, but he wouldn't. My mind was screaming, run, get out of there now. But instead I stayed and allowed him to dig deeper into me and pull me into his grasp. I wanted to run. Finally, I did run. I ran right into his arms and I was forever gone.
Hold on. Did they fuck?
They fucked.
Okay.
This is a very flowery way of saying I didn't want to fuck him because I didn't think it was right because I felt guilty because I've been with this dude since I was 15 and I live in a fucking church for Christ's sake. And
he said I was pretty and he was real nice to me.
Fuck, man. He was nice to me and I'm crying and sleeping all the time. So shit, I think that's what's going on here. So yeah, this is what she writes. And then she also writes, I don't know if it's the right time to tell Willie or not. I feel bad not telling him again. So she keeps repeating that. Yeah. So she doesn't know when to tell him.
Some remorse. And I understand. You feel shitty, I'm sure. It's just, you can't. This is how these things happen because somebody is super unhappy and they don't know how to articulate it and they think that the articulation of it is going to ruin everything and it's going to hurt somebody's feelings. And then she feels like she's going to gain something out of this and then she doesn't gain it. It just makes it worse.
That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah. You're fucking nailed it right on the money. So Summer here ends up, like I said, leaving and filing for divorce in June of 2010.
Yep.
She takes the kids with her.
Sure.
She's their mother. Now, she said that again, and this is the point where she files for a restraining order and writes that he threatened to kill her if she ever took the children away from him. So that's something she needed to get on paper. She also said in this affidavit that he used to take her car keys and wallet and cell phone, so he could hold her captive in the house, so she couldn't fucking go anywhere. You have no money and no keys and no phone.
You can't call anybody.
What are you supposed to do? Walk out into the rural Ohio day. Enjoy.
Yeah.
So,
how are you going to boil your water now?
Yeah. I'm taking all the pots and pans and I'm hiding them. Now what are you going to do? You're going to die if you drink that water. Now, also, at one point, he had taken her cats and and told her at different times that he killed them or abandoned them in a field somewhere.
What an asshole.
Yes. Now, that's what she puts in the affidavit. Now, his response to this, though, sounds kind of reasonable. He says that he took her cell phone and car keys when he quote suspicioned, that's what he put, that she was seeing Adam. Now, you can't hide somebody's shit, but that's kind of like a Karen Hill Goodfellas thing. Like, you're not going out tonight, and she throws, it's one of those things. But still, you can't do that to people anyway. But he also claimed that's not the reasonable part. The cat thing. He claims the cats were feral cats that she fed, and they were everywhere, and they would shit all over the place outside and stuff. She said. He said they were in the house and they were destroying the new furniture and sofa. He said he had a new couch and a new sofa, and the feral cats were tearing it up.
She's letting the feral cats inside the house?
Yes.
No.
She's trying to domesticate them, is what he says. And he says, in attempting to pick one of the cats up off the couch, the cat latched onto his forearm and really tore his shirt and obviously scratched up whatever was under it.
That's how. Do that shit?
Oh yeah, they're fucking nasty. God. A feral cat will. Those are things
that are
nasty.
Back claws, they
go
will
crazy.
Skin your forearm.
Shit,
man.
yeah.
Holy shit.
He claims he took them to the animal shelter. He didn't. He said, I didn't kill them. I didn't dump them out in the middle of nowhere. I just took them to the animal shelter. Now, who knows what's true? Yeah. If that's true,
whatever.
You kind of go, that's sort of reasonable. Yeah. I mean,
but she may not know that because being a dick, he told her what he told her. Right.
But she says none of that was, and he says, hey, it was perfectly reasonable to take the cats out of the house. And she's saying, no, it wasn't. That's crazy, which it seems like whatever.
I think the two of them
she said at that
clearly
point.
Don't need to be together.
I feel like just break up, split custody, and call it a fucking day.
Yeah.
Why can't you just do that?
Drop the kids off to him at McDonald's and then return them to her at McDonald's.
Meet in the Chili's parking lot and then go back to your place
during happy hour when there's lots of people around.
That's it. So anyway, Summer ends up, like I said, she left, and she leaves right around the same time she starts seeing Adam, the Adam Peters guy. Now, the sheriff's office said they would get periodic reports from her and from her husband's side of the family there, from the Inmans, both, that the other side was guilty of some horseshit. They did this. They're constantly calling the sheriff department on each other. This turns into just a mess of kind of.
And Adam's like, I wish I was atheist.
Yeah, Adam's going, Jesus Christ, what the hell did I get myself into? But no, they're actually, from what we understand, they seem to really be. They both tell everybody that they're in love with each other, Adam and Summer, and they seem to be happy, and that sort of thing. So at one point, Summer shows up. This is December 1st, 2010. Summer shows up at the Inman's home with Adam. Okay. This is the home that all three of them live in with Adam.
Not good.
To pick up belongings because at this point, the Inman's house was being foreclosed on.
Oh, no.
I assume the Mercy Ranch is included in that. No mercy from the bank ranch over here being foreclosed on.
They don't show any.
No remorse at all there. No mercy either.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. Yeah. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
So so she's going to pick her shit up because they're not going to have a house to keep it in any longer. So she's going over there, and she brought with her Adam and a deputy sheriff.
Okay.
That's her.
That's fine.
Yeah, she's not going over there banging on the door and
just
yelling
bringing
and
Adam. Right,
no,
that's a problem.
Saying we're going to go over. Adam's going to help me load my shit up and all that, and I need this deputy sheriff here to make sure everybody gets along.
Yep.
Nobody does anything fucking crazy. Everybody's cool.
This is fine so far.
So far, very reasonable. So Bill, the father, William Sr., he requests that Adam leave the property and wait at the end of the driveway. He said, can you get him? I don't want him on my property. Tell him to wait at the end of the driveway. To which the deputy says, the fuck out of here with that. No. How about no?
How about I'm not playing your dumb game? Fuck you.
We're not doing this.
Give us the shit and we're out of here.
He's not bothering you. He's here to help her carry shit. Shut up and let her get her shit and let me get this over with. Imagine being a cop in the middle of this.
God, I can't imagine.
Imagine.
No.
I would be I don't know how cops in domestic situations where people are arguing, I don't know how they just... And I don't mean where one's beating on the other. Right. I mean where they show up and like the woman threw a plate of spaghetti at him and like, you know.
And he's got to maintain a level of professionalism.
He's yelling. Professionalism.
There it is.
Yeah. We've all seen
professionability.
We've all seen the episode of Cops where you went, both these people are fucking assholes. Yeah. It's both their faults. Yeah. Neither of them, it's no violence. Right. They're just idiots. And we need to stop. How do you not just take your nightstick out and spin around in a circle like a sprinkler? Just tink, pink, whatever it hits. I don't understand how you don't do it.
I watched an episode of Live PD where a girl was trying to have a guy arrested for beating her, and the police had to question both of them, try to line up a story, and then
they have to make a report.
They ended up arresting her dumbass because she was lying, and they had to deduce that from both of these.
That's why they do an investigation.
Crazy drug-fueled stories.
That's the thing.
It's
you show
bananas.
up, people are drunk, people are high, and they're fighting because they're drunk and high.
Right.
So that's and they have to deal with that shit. That is one area of policing I have no envy, and I don't know how they do it.
No,
whatever else you want to say, you could be dealing with gangbangers and whatever. Not nearly as dangerous or annoying.
Yeah.
Because these people, too, you'll show up, they're fighting, you take the one down, the other one will start beating you, too.
Yeah.
You start cuffing the husband, then the wife will get on you. You start cuffing the wife, the husband will start hitting you.
I would be much more afraid
craziness.
to show up to a domestic violence situation than a bank robbery. Bank robbery's fucking over. This is boiled to the point where they need police intervention.
Plus,
that's how crazy
the bank robbers want to get away from there with no confrontation. These people live there and have nowhere else to go. You have to make this shit work.
And they feel safe on their own property.
That's the other thing, too. Right. They're emboldened on their own property. Obviously this situation's rough, though. So there's a big argument. The deputy's trying to calm it. Adam's there. He's shrugging his shoulders. All right. Whole thing. So Bill...
I just want to fuck her.
I don't know what's going on here. Bill, at this point, threatens to shoot Adam in front of the deputy.
Oh, boy.
The father, William Sr., Pastor Bill here, the man of the Lord.
I hope he did that with one of those fucking collars on.
He offers to shepherd some shotgun pellets into his chest cavity for him, is what he offers to do.
Okay.
So he offers to shoot him. Then he said, I'll just beat you. So then he threatens to beat Adam up in the front yard. None of these things advisable in front of police officers, by the way. Don't do this. So out of all this, Bill ends up wrestling with the deputy.
Of course.
So the deputy's trying to calm him down, and Bill says, get off of me, and you're on my property, and and then they're wrestling and up, and next thing you know, Bill's getting thrown on the ground, wrestling around with handcuffs and all this type of shit. He ends up getting convicted of misdemeanor charges, including resisting arrest, and he was fined and given probation for this offense here, because you can't wrestle with deputies.
But a guy that does that, even a pastor, doesn't take responsibility for it. He blames Adam.
Absolutely. It's Adam's fault.
Adam's
Absolutely.
a dick.
100%.
What an asshole.
So I do have to say this, though. If you're the deputy, wouldn't you go, what's the situation here? Right. I need to come with you because they're mad because you're with him. So you're going to bring him there?
Right.
Why don't we leave him at home?
Or at least
I'm with you.
Sit in my car. Yeah. I got a gun. We'll be okay.
I'm with you. Right. You're cool. I would just so I don't have to deal with. It's going to cause problems. You know it's going to cause problems. Why would we poke the bear? Why would we make it worse?
Let's not stir this.
Like that, I understand. I get why she would want him to be there to make her feel more comfortable, but I don't understand why the police would say, "Sure, come on along, buddy." You're like, who's the guy who everyone's mad at? Yeah, let's bring him too.
I mean, it
doesn't make sense.
There's so many things that the judgments that the cop can make. And I mean, I like the move that he did make because it fucking shows balls.
It does show balls. It does show balls. But at the same time, it also doesn't show.
Right. And an unstable man who's angry might test those balls. And he did.
And he did.
Right.
And it's
and now you've got to wrestle.
That's what I mean. If he would have just said, "Funny, stay in the car. Nobody's wrestling. Nobody's going to jail. That court, the money that it costs to run that, all that shit is solved." If this guy just goes, "Yeah, it might cause more problems than it solves," right?
Maybe he sits in the back seat, and when you get the shit outside, he can help put it in the car.
That's
how about
all.
that?
Yeah, that would have taken. So
we do that.
Fine. No,
because by then we're already leaving. He can't say shit.
Have him stand there in the yard the whole time. That's the way it's going to work now. Now, Willie. At this point, after this is all over, Willie is still friends with Adam on Facebook for some reason. Now we're getting Facebook involved in this, okay? He's still friends with Adam, and he, of course, is always looking at Adam's page.
Of course.
Because he's with his fucking...
Because he's a dick.
And he's that guy, yeah. Ugh. So one day he checks Adam's page, and the Facebook, his profile picture, Adam's profile picture is now Adam posing with Summer and the 3 kids.
Oh, so he is now deleted.
That's his new profile picture. So Willie is fucking apoplectic over this.
Of course.
He's going nuts. And they both post in a relationship with each other and all that type of shit. They are, which is fine. Right. Willie can't handle the photo.
He feels like he's being replaced.
It sets him off. He freaks out. He says, everyone, I guess he would yell at everybody. He's going, they posed in that picture like they're a couple, like they're a family, and this is bullshit. And, I thought we were supposed to be, working it out or whatever, or trying to.
It's over, bro.
It's over, bro. Yeah. It's once your dad wrestles with a deputy over it, it's over.
It's done.
That's when we call it a fucking day.
You should have seen your dad's ass crack wrestling with a cop and been like, oh, look, there goes my dad's ass crack. That's also now what my relationship I should be reminded.
Right there.
There it is.
That's the only reason he gave up was because his pants fell down and his ass crack was showing. That's why he stopped fighting.
Oh, the shame.
All right, fine. My dick's almost out. Never mind. This is embarrassing. So, Jesus Christ, man. So, the family is distraught. The Inman family is distraught. The William and, the father, William Sr. and Sandra, the mother, are super distraught over the grandkids not being there. The grandkids have always lived with them.
Right.
And they're real into the grandkids.
Yeah. And it's an echo chamber in that house of 3 mouths talking shit about her and Adam.
Yeah.
Oh, good
can you imagine? They're just bouncing it back and forth.
Even in the shower on the shitter, they're just screaming.
Because if that situation erupts, and if it was Willie who got mad about the Adam situation, you would expect the father to come in and go, hey, it's not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth it, Willie. Let's just go inside. Let's calm down.
Let her go.
Instead, it's the father out there wrestling with the deputy, which is fucking crazy. So, in the paper at one point, it said that, they said that, a friend of theirs said that the Inmans, Bill and Sandy, lost weight over this. They were so upset about the grandkids. It's all they talked about. They said their appearance was different. They looked haggard.
Wow.
Like they were depressed about it. They took less good care of themselves. And this whole thing was dragging on. The divorce was still dragging on.
Yeah.
And at this point in late 2010, one of the kids is less than 2 years old. One's 3 and one's 5.
Right.
So there's 3 little kids in this, tiny kids. And they're very depressed, though, the Inmans, about this. Now, Summer ends up living with the 3 kids with her mom.
Okay.
Her mom is Debbie Cook, and also with her stepdad here, too. Now, she lives with them for months. The mother, Debbie, said, quote, about Summer, quote, she was scared most of the time. She was afraid of Willie. Yeah. So that's a bad thing. Now, December 2001, December, like we said, at the end of the month, they're thrown out of the Mercy Ranch house there.
They've been given no mercy at Mercy Ranch.
Been given no mercy. Now, so months go by and things are just escalating. Yeah. Different things are being filed for the divorce. Child support comes up. Willie files an objection in the divorce case after being ordered to pay child support of $150 a month on a $6,000 a year income.
Yeah.
So he's making $6,000 a year, which is rough. He asked the judge, he's one of the 22.5% that makes under 15 grand. He asked the judge to reduce the amount to $50 a month, which why fucking bother? Yeah. What are you going to get with $50 a month? Oh, $50. Oh, thanks. That tank of gas will come in real handy with these 3 kids. Not like they eat or shit or do anything or go to school or wear clothes or,
Thanks for a third of the diaper bill.
I just keep them starving and nude. It's no big deal. Jesus Christ.
With a fan blowing on them.
Yeah.
Because that's what I can afford. I can buy the fan and the electricity to run the fan.
Just that electricity.
That's it.
Yeah, nothing. No lights. It'll be dark in here, but the wind will be blowing. So March 22nd, 2011. That was March 17th, 2011 was the whole child support thing. Willie in court asking for less. Now, 5 days later, March 22nd, 2011, Summer goes to work that evening. She's cleaning the Century National Bank. She's just going in and cleaning. There is surveillance footage of her with like mops and shit, in the bank.
Seems like a pretty easy job.
It is.
Nobody shits at the bank.
Nobody shits at the bank. That's good.
You get in, you put the money in, you get the fuck out.
My father and my stepmom, they actually had a business when they lived in North Carolina on the side. They had regular jobs too, but they would go like 3 times a week and clean a couple of banks that they had
you
too.
Wipe down the handles of the door.
It was it's super easy. Like there's no shit on the walls of the bank. Like everything's pretty clean. Yeah. People kind of keep it on the up and up at the bank.
We're on their money.
They don't spit on the floor or anything. Generally, it's pretty civilized at the bank.
You might have to pick up a couple dum-dum wrappers.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, they did that shit on the side too. So I get what she's doing here. So she's at the bank now. At this time, there's a man, a stranger named Kevin Landers. He's walking in an alley near the bank, and he hears a woman scream at this point. Now, this guy, there's another, at this point, another person here who says that he heard a stun gun go off, and then he was pepper sprayed. Now, we'll talk about this.
He was
pepper sprayed, this man. Now, he was able to provide police with some details to help them with this whole thing here. We'll talk about that in a second. And this man ran away with pepper spray in his eyes and called 911. Okay. He says he wasn't able to see very well from the pepper spray. This poor bastard.
Yeah.
He sees a crime, and we'll talk about it. Sees a crime taking place, gets pepper sprayed.
Yeah.
Then he returns to work later on after he's gone to the hospital and talked to the police and all this type of shit, and they fire him for missing work that night.
No way.
Which is fucked up. This guy got fucked good.
And he's trying to call the police, dialing #11 and 033. He can't dial the phone.
No, that's the thing.
Poor fuck.
He said he wished he could have done more, but he feared the same fate of what was happening. What he found was a woman being stun gunned in the parking lot of the bank by 3 masked assailants.
Okay.
So he sees this going on. He goes over to intervene, and the one of the assailants turns around and pepper sprays him good. He runs away, calls 911.
Yeah.
Okay, after
How big
that.
were the assailants? Were they like 5'3" and 1 that size?
They were very small.
Okay.
Very small. One of them appeared to not speak English well. Now, we don't know if he speaks any language. Lots of drooling. Trail of Cheerios. Just everywhere.
Right.
Goldfish and Teddy Grahams and shit. Just all sorts of stuff.
Dreaming about Team Umizoomi.
So messed up, man. So, he takes off. Now, these are now multiple people have called 911.
Yeah.
Another person calls 911. By the way, the police department's a block and a half away from this bank. Yeah. There's still nobody there yet. Okay.
A block and a half away.
A block and a half away. Now, Summer hasn't checked in where she's supposed to check in. Her father's worried about her. She's supposed to be home at a certain point. So he calls 911 as well.
Okay.
And still no police. Summer's mother drives to the bank to see where the fuck Summer is, because she's worried.
More than a block and a half away.
More than a block and a half away. She shows up, still no cops there.
Uh-huh.
She searches the area for her daughter to find any sign of her daughter. She finds Summer's iPod and a couple other personal items of Summer's on the ground in the parking lot of the bank. Cheerios, Teddy Grahams. Yeah, which Summer probably does leave a trail of Cheerios.
Probably.
If you have 3 kids under 5, you have Cheerios in your pants, like in your sock. They're on your face, in your bra, I'm sure. They're all over the goddamn place. In your couch cushions.
They're everywhere.
If you have kids, your kids will be 17. You'll still find Cheerios in your couch cushions. Even if you didn't have that couch when they were kids, they magically appear there. Super weird. So, at this point, she calls 911, and they still wait for the police. They still wait for the police.
Yet.
No cop yet. So, Michael Cook, her father, again is calling 911. He says to 911, quote, "She's nowhere to be found. We found her coat and iPod." So this is multiple people about the same bank parking lot. Nobody shows up yet. No cops. And this is all of this stuff here about the cops not showing up in time is all coming from Summer's family. Summer's family, this is their complaints, and they've kind of mapped all this out.
We've already done the investigation. Get the cops here.
Yes. Now, 2 female joggers also saw what was going on. They saw an abduction. They ran to the police station a block and a half away, and they told the police what they witnessed.
Yeah.
Now, these 2 ladies said that they were treated rudely by the police and suspiciously, as if they were fabricating the story.
Wow.
Which is strange. You'd see, that's just an odd reaction.
Yeah.
It's a block and a half away. You'd think, go check it out. Who cares? Take a ride. What do I got going on? I'll go take a ride down there.
2011, what was going on? What was on TV that they couldn't get away from it?
Well, the thing is, 2011, it's like, these loopy broads came in here saying there's an abduction and a kidnapping at the bank. Because they came in saying we saw 3 masked assailants stun gunning and pulling a woman into a car in the bank part, and they're like, "Did you now? Really?
Oh, sure you did.
Check it out. Just look. Go."
What is this? The movie Heat? What are you talking about?
Yeah. He told the officer, apparently, these ladies say the officer told them that other officers were all tied up in a traffic stop. So that's why they don't have time to check it out right now. They'll get to it eventually.
All the officers have somebody pulled over.
Yeah, everybody. All tied up. Or they all, cops like to stockpile on a traffic stop.
Yeah.
And there are probably 7 cops because one kid has an eighth of weed on him. Who the fuck knows?
Or they smell it.
They smell it. We got to search.
Yeah,
and they're all standing around looking at it. We're going to bust this one, boys. Take down all the drug activity in this town through this 16-year-old and his eighth. So these people, after these 2 ladies, after they left the police station, they ran to one of their homes, which took about 15 minutes, and then one of the ladies' husbands drove them back to the scene of the bank, and when they got to the bank, the cops still weren't there.
Wow.
So all this shit's going on. So we know it's taken at least a block and a half run to the cops. Hey, this is going on. Hey, this is going on. Whatever. We'll get to it. Holy shit. Run home 15 minutes. Get in the car and then drive 3 minutes back. So it's at least 25 minutes now. We're waiting for police to come, according to the Summers, the Cook family here. Now, the The ladies say that it took almost an hour for the police to arrive.
After reporting, I watched an abduction.
And several people
saw it.
They've gotten several calls from 911 about this, and just literally, I saw an abduction. It was pepper sprayed. We saw an abduction. Hey, my daughter's supposed to be there. We went there and found her coat and her iPod and not her.
Wow.
In that parking lot where you fucking 5 people say someone was abducted.
John Walsh.
And they took an hour.
Oh, he would paintbrush these fucking guys.
Yeah, this is what I mean. This is when we say we make fun of small towns and maybe a bumbling police force.
Right.
This is what we're talking
there
about.
It is.
Idiots. So it's not all cops. These particular, get your head out of your ass, desk sergeant or whoever's sitting there. I don't know.
All
who
the cops have all the cars.
Intake.
They're all out there.
Yeah. So, not a desk, but whoever's in charge of dispatching people. I don't fucking know.
This Farva guy.
This goddamn town.
Super Troopers, right?
Yes, absolutely. So Summer's missing. Summer doesn't come home. She's missing, and by all accounts, she's been abducted by masked people.
Right.
Which is fucking scary.
That's horrible.
That's the worst. That's the scariest thing a woman, anybody can think of, is being abducted.
By several
people in a public place, even.
Right.
Like, that's, I don't know, the home obviously would be worse, but just that you can go out and just be taken. You're not safe.
Home is only worse if you survive and you come back to that home.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're just taken from a fucking public
place, it could
place,
be anywhere.
This is the most Liam Neeson thing ever.
You'd be scared forever.
Yeah.
You're never safe.
You're never safe.
This is like what we're scared of for our daughters. This is what we're scared of for everything. And this is actually, holy shit, I got to tell you this now.
Oh boy.
This is perfect because this made me think of a guy tried to like grab my mother before I was born.
Really?
Like a year before I was born.
Your mother?
My mom.
I've met your mom.
Yeah, you've met my mom.
Pretty
my
tough
mom.
chick.
Not then. She was she was a little meeker back in the day before she had kids and got a divorce and all that shit.
Got hardened by the world.
Hardened over time. Yeah, my mom. So this story is fucking crazy. It'll take a second, but it's an amazing grandma.
Somebody tried to abduct your mother.
Yeah, and this is an amazing grandma story, by the way. Okay, this is grandma in this one doing some crazy shit. So they're at some store. It's in New York in the mid 70s. Okay. Yeah. They're at some store. My mother's driving. Some guy was following them around the store. Okay. It's a black guy. And I have to say that just for the punchline of the joke. It doesn't fucking matter either way, but just for the punchline so you'll know what grandma was talking about. It was a black guy following them around the store, and apparently just being weird. So they were just like, that's kind of weird, and just felt uncomfortable or whatever.
Sure.
So they leave and they take the car and they go to the next little shopping plaza next door. And I guess a minute later, this same guy comes on a bicycle and stops behind the car.
Yeah.
Right. So my mother's freaked out about this. She's like, 20 years old or something. She's freaked out about this. My grandmother's like, forget that. forget him. I'm going to go in the store. I'll be right back. You'll be fine. Right. So my grandmother goes in the store. This guy apparently starts riding his bike in a circle around the car, around my mother's car, looking in. So my mother's freaking out. I guess the guy from one of the stores, like somebody who was running a store there, was outside the store smoking a cigarette.
Yeah,
so she starts, thank God for smoke breaks. Yeah. She starts yelling, "Can you help me? Can you help me?" So this guy comes over and he's like, "Yeah, what's going on?" And the guy stops riding his bike. I guess a potential assailant stops riding his bike. And he goes over and he's like, this broad's crazy. I don't know what she's talking about and blah, 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 blah. So the guys kind of have like a crazy broad laugh together.
Sure.
And this dude goes back in his store, the guy who was smoking.
No.
So after this happens, the original guy who they were scared of starts trying to open the door to get in my mother's car. Right. So at this moment of him trying to get in the door and my mother going, oh my God, freaking out, my grandmother happens to be coming out of the store. And my mother said, you just hear my grandmother screaming in Italian, cursing at the top of her lungs, running over and reaching in her purse the whole time, yelling at him. She gets about 5 feet from him and whips a fucking knife out in his face and tells him in Italian, get the fuck out of here or I'll cut your black balls off. Now, that's not racist coming from my grandmother. If it was a redheaded guy, she would have said, I'll cut your pink balls off. Right. She's just being descriptive.
She hit the right ones.
And I think it probably made him go, shit, he didn't know what she was talking about because she lost her English. She was so fucking angry.
Is black and Italian Negro?
Yes. So Didn't matter. She's waving a blade in his face.
That'll do it.
And trying to go after him. She's not just threatening him. She's swinging it at him. And so he hops on his bike and takes off, calling her a crazy bitch and everything else.
But everything foreign language except for what he hears is Negro.
Yeah, he just turned around and saw an insane, tiny, 4'11", red-headed Italian woman coming at him with a fucking blade swinging, screaming in another language. And he went, oh, shit, I better run.
That's
and
amazing.
took off. Yeah. And that is the second knife-wielding story I have about my grandmother. Another one is my mother and her sister, when they were very little in the Bronx, some guy touched them inappropriately. Not bad, but did some inappropriate, just a little was
enough
grooming, we'll say. And enough to where,
enough to go, was that okay?
So they told my grandmother about this, and my grandmother went over there, knocked on his door with the girls in tow, knocked on his door. He opened the door. She put a knife to his throat and told him in Italian, because they were all Italian. They're all from Italy. In the Bronx there. And she said, if you ever touch my fucking daughters again, I'll cut your dick off and I'll shove it up your fucking ass. And then, this is gangster as fuck, took the knife away from his throat and slashed his cheek. How fucking gangster is that? She fucking slashed his cheek, bro.
She gave him her memory.
She fucking slashed him.
I like it a lot.
She said, that's fucking.
I'm not playing.
Don't make me come back. And she said the kids saw that guy, he would run to the other side of the street after that. But I thought that was a wonderful thing.
Terrific.
But she didn't have, unfortunately, her knife wielding insane Italian relative with her. But it's been a while since a grandma story, and this one popped in my head, so fuck it. Figured I'd drop it down on you guys. So when she's kidnapped here, she's missing. The next day, 400 people gather at a vigil for her to pray for her, get her back or whatever.
How many sheep? Sorry.
Among them, they had 26 watches. So that we know. How many sheep? You said that like you were going to peruse. Hey, how many sheep they got there?
Did they all ride in on a tractor?
They got chicks or what? So they had a big, prayer vigil and the whole deal. They all sang Amazing Grace together.
Very nice.
This is some small town kidnapped mother of three shit right here. This is small town fucking murder, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's not murder yet. Small town kidnapping so far. One elderly woman told the newspaper, quote, "It's just horrible. This is supposed to be a nice, quiet little town. It's just so sad. I just think of those three kids. They may have lost their mother. They may have lost their dad and their grandparents. Who knows?" Because they're saying that suspected, first of all, are the Inmans in this whole thing.
There's three.
There's three of them. They were taken into a car that the Inmans aren't known to have by the other family, which is one thing that kind of is an iffy thing, but we'll find out about that. People also described Summer as a very sensitive, very caring person. They said she was quiet and very nice, and everybody liked her. Yeah. She was a very likable person.
So come home soon.
We hope.
Yeah.
Now, they do a little investigation, and all witnesses say that she was being pushed into a large white sedan. William Sr., on March 18th, 2011, 4 days before the abduction, was purchased a white 2003 Ford Crown Victoria, which is a big fucking white car. Yeah. It's a big white cop car from Majestic Motors of Akron, Ohio. The Ohio Police Department, they had previously, the Streetsboro, Ohio Police Department previously owned the Crown Vic, meaning that the rear passenger locks are disabled.
Oh, look at that.
So if you're in a back seat and they don't want you out, you can't fucking get out of the back seat.
Yeah.
It would still had all the cop accoutrement
look at that.
in it. Now, there's witnesses here that talk about this. Each witness testifies later on and talks about a white car, which resembled, they all said, an old police cruiser. Yeah. They said was sitting in an alley by the bank. They said a woman with blonde hair was in the front seat of the vehicle. By the way, Sandra Inman has blonde hair. That's a coincidence. Two men were beside the rear passenger door and the vehicle there. They were holding a stun gun on a white female victim. That's what everybody saw. They said the victim was lying on the ground in a fetal position while they heard loud screams coming from her and stun gun noises.
Jesus.
So Summer was on the ground and people were stunning her while she was on the ground in a fetal position, which is just fucking cruel and horrible to do to anybody, especially an innocent person who's done nothing to you. Now, the one potential witness, like we said, went up and tried to help her and was pepper sprayed for his chivalry. And so he ended up, they pepper sprayed him and he ended up going off. Everybody said that the men wore dark clothing, and they said a bunch of them said they wore face masks as well. Two of the people there said they saw the two men throw the victim in the back seat of the vehicle, and those same people said that there was a blonde-haired female driving as they drove away.
Okay.
Two men throwing Summer, a woman fitting Summer's description, Summer, into a back seat of a car with just a police type cruiser with a blonde woman driving.
Get Axel Foley in here.
Fuck, we need him. Jesus. So another person here, a Colton Kilkenny here, he said, he's a witness. He says that around 11:30 p.m. he was driving along Route 33 in Nelsonville, Ohio, when he observed what appeared to be a white police cruiser parked at the Faith Tabernacle Church. That sound familiar?
That's where they used to pray.
That's the place they used to pray all the time. And Kilkenny said he thought it was a police vehicle because he slowed down because he thought they were doing radar.
The brakes,
Absolutely.
I hate the people that buy those.
They're asshole. Especially if you're going to sit in a parking lot. No, fuck that. Turn around if you're going to sit in the parking lot.
And if you own one of those, do 10 over the speed limit.
Yeah, please.
Don't do the speed limit.
Pace us all.
Everybody else is stopping behind you because we hate you.
You have no idea how much traffic you've fucked up in your wake if you're one of those people.
And then people with bike racks on the top of their car.
That's even more confusing.
There should be a curfew for you.
Yep, sorry.
Go home before the sun goes down because everybody in their rear view thinks you're a fucking cop.
Dickhead. All you are is a dick in a Volvo.
Some asshole in a Subaru. Go home before the sun goes down or take that shit off your car.
Some dick that likes to go mountain biking. Another a Crystal Farris says that she also saw the white vehicle that she thought was an older police car parked at the church in the late evening hours. She further said that she saw two men standing outside the vehicle and a blonde or redheaded woman in the front seat. So these are all very consistent descriptions. Now the Inmans were immediate suspects.
How are the citizens much more observant and reliable than the police?
I would let the guy who got pepper sprayed lead this investigation at this point because everybody else doesn't seem to either A, give a shit, or B, know what the fuck to do. So
make him at least the police sergeant.
Something. Have him be like Pee Wee Herman on Reno 911 that time where he was showing him all the crimes that he was committing.
I love him.
He's great.
He got a raw deal.
Yeah, well, Paul Rubens. Sorry, Pee Wee. He's not Pee Wee Herman.
He's not.
He's more talented than that.
Fucking way talented man.
For fucking
what a raw deal he got.
Off. That's fucking ridiculous.
The child porn is a real stiff thing.
That wasn't him. He wasn't child porn.
That's what they caught him.
Paul Rubens?
That's what they did to him, right?
No, he got caught jerking off in public, just like fucking.
Didn't they say that they checked his computer and there was some?
I don't think Jeffrey Jones you're thinking of, the Ferris Bueller principal. I did not know if that's true. I don't think Pee Wee Herman had anything to do with kids.
There was some rumors of it.
I thought he was at a Jack Shack and got caught jerking it off.
That's exactly what ruined him. What started it.
That's what I thought was the only stuff. I did not know if that's true. We need to clarify.
True.
We'll know that by the end, and if not, we are sorry, Paul Rubens, and we're not saying that it's true. It's no libel. Put it that way.
I'll Google it.
We'll Google it.
I'll Google the shit out of this.
We don't know. Yeah. Let's just say
For now, that's his raw deal.
So, like we said, Inmans are the immediate suspects.
Mm-hmm.
The people question the Inmans. The cops question them for hours, obviously, at the next day after the disappearance. They question them, and they have a lot to question them about. The family is seen on surveillance video taking a white Crown Victoria to a car wash later on after the abduction happened, where they spent an hour and a half cleaning the inside of the vehicle, which is odd.
Excessive.
Didn't worry shit about the outside.
No?
Cleaned the fuck out of the inside, though. Just detailed it.
Getting all those Cheerios out.
Yeah, that's what it is. Cheerios. It's a new car. They just got it a few days ago. You got to get the last owners.
Well, it's a
jizz
retired
off the seat.
Police car, isn't it?
There's jizz all over it then. Good God. I don't know why that would make it jizzier, but...
Jizzier.
Sorry, there's a yes and moment there. Let's just go with it. So, Fuck it. So, then the investigators say that the Inmans drove to Pearl Road Auto Wrecking and Salvage in Cleveland, where Willie Inman Jr. tried to trade, or he did trade, a brand new, because they just bought the car, and a lot of times when you buy a used car, they put new tires on it.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Right.
Had brand new tires on it.
Okay.
They've had the car for 5 days. They traded a pristine set of wheels and tires for a used set in worse condition.
Why would they do that?
To not have the same tire marks.
That's interesting.
Take a cast of something. Oh, those don't match.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
These are all worn down shitty ones.
Yeah, these aren't the clean, fresh ones there. So they thought that was weird at the station. Why would someone want to do that? The on-duty person at the gas station there at the Pearl Road Auto Wrecking and Salvage, Rich Lenz, he said, quote, I didn't know why he was wanting to change them, but he said he wanted to get something fancier, so he got aluminum wheels off a car we had, off a car in the yard we had. Okay. So they weren't even fancier. They were worth less money. It just didn't make sense. Okay. So they end up getting a search warrant for the Inman home, where they were staying in Akron, Ohio, which is with the Williams parents there. They, among items, they found a Garmin GPS unit. Remember those?
Yeah.
Before on your phone. Also, cell phones of Willie and Bill were seized, and the White Crown Victoria was also seized and searched for evidence. They also found a fake police badge, tactical flashlight, in with the GPS, also walkie-talkies and cell phones.
Good Lord.
All of the badge, flashlight, and walkie-talkies were found in a backpack in a closet.
But they couldn't pay their mortgage?
Couldn't pay their mortgage. And the weird thing was, though, they did a search of the Crown Victoria. They do the, process it for a crime scene here. And they find out they don't find shit, not a fingerprint on the inside of that thing. It's clean as fuck. Yeah, the guy from the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, he says, quote, normal people would have more contact with the interior of the vehicle than they would the exterior of the vehicle. Yeah. Generally, we would find fingerprints on the inside, but in this case, there were none. Led me to believe that the interior had been cleaned well.
Yeah.
So they wiped their shit clean. The Garmin GPS unit, along with the cell phone records of William and Bill, placed the Inmans in Logan, Ohio at 5:40, because they don't live in Logan.
Right.
They placed the Inmans in Logan, Ohio at 5:45 p.m. on March 22nd, 2001. The GPS unit places the Inmans in Logan until 8:07 p.m. when the unit was turned off. The unit was turned back on again at 11:46 p.m. in Nelsonville, and from that point, the GPS traveled northbound through the county and going through the city of McConnellsville, then to Zanesville, across Interstate 70, up Interstate 77, and back to the Cleveland, Akron area.
Okay.
So they did a little loopy-loop around there. And then the GPS stopped at the Blue Sonic Car Wash in Seven Hills, Ohio, where surveillance video showed them cleaning out the Crown Vic, dismantling and removing a black spotlight that was affixed to the vehicle also. They had a spotlight that they could shine.
Yeah.
They took that fucking shit off to make it either less identifiable, and also, we don't have a spotlight. That couldn't have been us. After they leave the car wash, they travel to the Pearl Road Auto Parts, and they trade the tires off. That's how they pieced it all together with witnesses, surveillance, receipts, GPS, cell phone tower shit.
All in one day.
They've triangulated everything on them.
One evening.
Well, they gave them here's our GPS.
Right.
Here's where we've been forever.
Here's what we've done.
Our phones, our GPS, everything. The Inmans, they admit that to law enforcement that they were in fact traveling together on the night of March 22nd, and that they did have the Garmin GPS unit with them on that night, but they were never in Logan, Ohio.
So they're putting together, the police are suspicioning them.
They're suspicioning them bad. So satellites, they don't know where we are. How the fuck do they know? They said they were in Cleveland instead. So the satellite was off by, what do we say it was? 2.5 hours to Cleveland, I think, at the top of the show.
Journey.
It's kind of a far way off.
100 miles.
It's sometimes when you click on a, Uber or something, it doesn't recognize your location right away, but it doesn't say you're in Cleveland if you're not anywhere near Cleveland. It says you're across the street, and then it catches up a second later. So all three Inmans are arrested and charged with kidnapping. So they don't know where the fuck Summer is still. Now, the mother here, Sandra, is she is the mother of Sandra. I'm sorry. So Willie's grandma. Willie's grandma is devastated by the arrests of everybody. She said, quote, how would any parent feel when they believe in their family? I don't believe it. I can't believe it. That's all she said.
She refuses.
She doesn't believe it. She says it can't be them.
Right.
So the William Sr., his statement that he makes is, I am innocent. I did not kill her. We did not do it. I promise you, I will take a lie detector test and prove it. The story will come out, and then everyone will know the truth.
Uh-huh.
So he gave one of those.
Yeesh.
Whenever someone says the story will come out and everyone will know the truth.
Yeah.
That's bad usually. OJ, exactly. It's going to come out. So,
still waiting, OJ.
Where's that truth, Chief? It's in there somewhere. So after a few days in custody, because they're holding them, Sandy has a statement too to make. The mom here, Sandra, her statement's got a little different tone though to it, as we'll talk about. She talks to Chief Deputy Sheriff Matt Speckman at the Hocking County Sheriff's Office. This is March 29th. This is a week after the abduction. This girl's been missing for a fucking week. Imagine how scary that is for everybody. It's horrible.
No. The kids. Where the fuck are the kids? With her parents?
The kids are with her parents, yeah. They're with her parents. They're with Summer's parents.
Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. Now, at this time, authorities are actively searching for Summer all day, every day.
Oh, it's about time.
It's all they're doing. Yeah, finally, Christ. It's all they're doing. County people are into it, because now it's just not the town anymore. Now there's county police, everybody, the town themselves. Yeah. People are looking up and down for Summer. So at this point, Sandra says she ends up cracking. Yeah. She talks to the investigators. Yep. She says that it was her idea to snatch Summer off the street and force her into the car. She said only so she could beg Summer for weekend visits with her grandchildren. Uh-huh. She says, quote, I thought I could talk to her. That's what she says. She said, quote, I think it was probably my idea more than anybody's. She said, because I kept on and on and on about it. You know, why won't she talk to us? Why won't she work with us? We're only asking for weekends. And I thought she would work with us on weekends. So she says, it's my idea. Let's dress like kidnappers and physically abduct her, so we can have a reasonable civil conversation about the child custody arrangement.
You know, that's a great idea. I will buy a police car. What the fuck are they doing?
Badges walking. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oof. Did they expect to walk up to her and claim to be cops? Like she wouldn't know who they were at first? That's the other thing.
Yeah. How do you? She knows you. She knows you're not a cop.
She's lived with you for years. So she also says, quote, and in my mind, whenever I wanted to go there, it made sense to just talk to her. So this is what she says. She says that Willie hid behind the hedges and a dumpster of the Century National Bank and waited for Summer to finish up her work and walk outside. She says Willie jumped out and put zip ties around Summer's hands.
Holy fuck.
And forced her inside the vehicle. This is what she says. Sandra says, quote, Willie had a hold of her and he just helped her up in. Uh-huh. No, he didn't help her up in. He forced her.
He kidnapped somebody.
I just helped that child up into my van and drove away. No. She says, quote, he was right there all of a sudden. It happened real quick. So the inspector said, the sheriff's guy said, quote, so in your mind, she was never supposed to end up dead. This is the window you give somebody. Mm-hmm. You go, you didn't mean to kill her.
Right.
This is what people beat their kids to death. You didn't mean to beat your kid. I smack my kid around.
All the time.
I couldn't imagine if they died out of that. I mean, who doesn't smack their kids around? The little fucker died. It's his fault. That's what they do to people. Yeah. So not to people, but that's how you get shit out of people. So she says, the investigator, like we said, so in your mind she was never supposed to end up dead. Mm-hmm. Sandra replied, no. She said, we just wanted to talk some sense into her. She said, beg her, please let me see the kids, let us see the kids on the weekends. She's sticking to that. She says the car drove off with her driving, William, her husband, in the front seat, and Willie in the back seat with Summer.
Oh, no.
She said, she talked about the divorce. And then she said Willie had bound Summer's wrist with zip ties, and she was screaming and telling everybody that they're never going to see the kids again. Because you're kidnapping me and you're all going to be in prison.
Right.
So you ain't going to see the kids.
This is not the way to get weekends.
This is not a way to get visitation. So at this point, she says that Willie accidentally strangled Summer with a zip tie. He said he had put a zip tie around her neck.
Why would you do that?
Then she says, quote, I know positively he didn't do it on purpose.
Ooh.
Okay. She explains it here, and then I know what you're going to say. But he says once her son put her in the vehicle, her husband grabbed Summer's legs, put her in the car. He zip-tied her hands. They were going. She said, quote, we was trying to say, things like, well, it was me a lot, stuff saying, quote, why won't you give us the kids on the weekends? That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for a week. We're not asking for 50-50. We're just wanting weekends. And so she also, Sandra said, that she at that point confronted Summer about saying that Adam, her boyfriend, was abusing the children. Okay. She's like, we want to see the kids. We heard your boyfriend's abusing the kids and all this type of shit. So she said that according to Sandra, Willie was in the back seat, tried to put a zip tie on Summer's feet, but it didn't work. She was kicking. Right. Legs are strong. It's hard to hold someone's feet if they don't want them held, especially if they have adrenaline of the fear of their life in them. Sandra said, quote, that's when Willie placed the zip tie around her neck, but he didn't mean to kill her. You know what you can do to not kill someone?
Don't put a fucking zip tie around their neck.
Ever. Don't ever put a zip tie around a human being's neck.
The interesting thing about zip ties is that you can't loosen them.
That's the problem.
You tighten them to a certain length, and that's it.
That's it. And that's what she says, quote, he was like telling her he loved her and this and that. And the next thing you knew, he was like blacked out or something, because he was like, where's the knife? Where's the knife? He wanted it off her neck real quick. Then Sandra said, quote, I think he blacked out, I don't know how to explain it. Like he blacked out because he looked at me like, oh my God, and he said, Mom, where's the knife? Where's the knife? Where's the knife? And I couldn't find it. I know he didn't mean to, because the look in his eye was like, oh my God, Mom, oh my God, panicked.
Oh boy.
So he wanted the knife to cut the zip tie off her neck. Don't put zip ties on people's fucking necks, especially if you had something around your neck. You might grab at it and pull it, and you tighten it by accident even.
Or that's a good point.
You could do it.
Oh, Jesus.
Or you put it on their neck, and then they jerk their neck, and you fucking tighten it too tight. There's a million. You don't zip tie people's necks ever for this very reason.
Oh, boy. My stepfather used to do that shit to us. Zip tie our fucking hands behind our back is like a joke.
Yeah, some weird.
They are impossible.
No, you can't get those off of you. Shit, no. You need a knife. You need a razor blade
or clippers or snips.
Yeah. So Sandra then said she told them where they could find Summer's body. She said you can find her at the Faith Tabernacle Church.
No.
She said so. As she's saying this, the officer is dispatching this information to the field.
Go now.
Like every word she says, he's repeating it into the microphone. I guess they radioed, and in the transcript it said, toward the other end of the church, toward Logan, there's a tank lid. There's a septic tank there. Sanders said, that's it. The officer on the radio said, it's got screws in it. Sanders said, yeah, that's it. Then the officer on the radio said, it appears to be a septic tank. And Sanders said, that's it. Gross. So at that point, Sandra says that Willie carried Summer over to the septic tank, but she didn't know who put her inside the septic tank, the husband or the son. Not her, is what she says. Sandra also says Summer's shoes were thrown out the window shortly after leaving the church, and she detailed all the stops they made along the way, the car wash. She corroborates all of that. Once the lid to the septic tank was off, they found the only thing they could see sticking out of the sludgy
her feet septic
tank were 2 feet sticking out. That's it.
That is horrible.
That's horrible. And the first foot, the investigator told Sandra they got a foot. They see a foot sticking out. Sandra said they got her good. Is what she said. So the police officer said, I appreciate you telling us that. I know, and she said, I've known that girl since she was little, and, whatever. Sandra said she's like my girl too. I never had a daughter until her. For 8 years, she's been like my daughter.
Well, you're an asshole.
Yeah, I would fucking say. She said, and he said, quote, the officer said, we know we can't do like a tape recorder in reverse and do things over. And, she said, I just wish I could rewind it. She said, there's no way possible. Not any of us, not me, Bill, or Willie would have ever stepped foot in that car. That's what she says.
Well, you did.
She said, quote, just rewind it. There's no way possible. Not any of us would do that. So, yeah. So she's found. They find there's 6 screws that hold the steel lid on. They pop it off here. This is the Faith Tabernacle Church is in Nelsonville. There. The chief of police says the body was very much intact. A number of photographs and identification was found. So they knew it was her. They said, quote, once we were comfortable that Summer was in fact the body we had located, I then arrived back at the parents' home and told her parents what happened, which had to be horrible.
Worst.
Not only is she dead in a horrible way, this is where we found her. God damn it. So cops said that they found her body was clothed and wearing the same outfit she was wearing on the surveillance camera from the bank. She was wearing a black T-shirt, had her hair in a ponytail. Her T-shirt said, quote, I don't have an anger problem, I have an idiot problem. So she's got spunk.
She's got 3 idiots.
I like it. Yeah, she's got a thrice idiot problem. So yeah, she still had her purse on her arm.
No.
Still had her purse, clutching her purse on her arm.
Wow.
They did. That's yeah.
That is a horrible.
I don't know why, but that makes it worse for some reason.
It's pretty amazing that it stuck around.
Stuck around, yeah.
What kind of purse was it?
She was clutching it. If it was one that was tight and she was clutching it, she would have stayed clutching it. It's fucking horrible, man. So they did say the autopsy revealed she was probably killed within about 45 minutes of being snatched off the street. So trying to say at least she didn't suffer that much. They said she was strangled. A plastic zip tie was positioned around her neck and zip ties around her wrists. Still there. She did not inhale any sewage into her lungs.
Because she was already dead.
Means, she was already dead when she was placed in there. So that's at least she didn't, drown in a septic tank.
God, fuck.
Jesus. Police said that she was abducted by about 11 o'clock and that they put her death between 11 and 11:45 p.m., which was right before they turned the GPS back on to get out of there. Interesting, right? There. Weird. And also bruises on her upper and lower extremities from fucking fighting off 3 people trying to kidnap her. They said the chief of police said, quote, it would appear that she was killed very quickly the evening of the crime. Try to make everyone feel a little better with that, I guess.
I mean, she was killed right after we showed up.
Right after. I mean, we showed up, she had been dead for 15 fucking minutes already. That's how bad we are. Deputy coroner, he testified the official cause of homicide was ligature strangulation, and they said this coroner explains that the zip tie around her neck was so tight that he had to wedge wire cutters under there to get it off, and it wasn't easy to do. He said it was hard to get wire cutters under it. That's how tight it was. It was ridiculous.
Otherwise, he's cutting her skin.
Yeah. And so he was trying not to do. He also testifies later that she was deceased going into the tank. So on May 20th, the grand jury indicts William 1 and 2 with aggravated murder with death penalty specifications. By the way, also another count of aggravated murder and kidnapping. Also tampering with evidence and a gross abuse of corpse. And
super gross.
Yes, that's pretty fucking gross.
Fucking disgusting.
So the Williams were charged with that. Sandra Inman pleads not guilty by reason of insanity. She is only charged with kidnapping and abduction, and she pleads not guilty by reason of insanity. Judge orders her mental evaluation. Now she's in jail, and she ends up jumping from the second level of an indoor common area, like one of those 2-tiered jails. She fucking leapt off the jail
a lot.
Yeah. And she didn't die or anything, though. She just had minor injuries.
10 feet.
Yeah, it's from the thing over the rail. What do you got? 18 feet in the air. Ow! I hurt my arm. Shit. Now I'm in pain, but alive.
You got a swan dive, sugar. Land on your face.
Bing. It's like, and even then, good luck.
It's tough.
It's tough. So she was treated at a hospital and returned to jail. There. June of 2012, William Jr. is the first to go to trial here, or supposed to go to trial. He's up for the death penalty. He is tried, and they moved the case. They relocated it to Ross County, Ohio here, and a jury ends up finding him guilty of all charges. And following a mitigation hearing, the jury recommends a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, but that's not the final say. So sentencing comes around for William Jr., and this is a good one here. The judge says, "You, sir, may indeed fuck off. He imposes life sentence with no possibility of parole. None on William Jr. Summers' family seemed happy with the verdict. Her aunt said, quote, "We were all so relieved. We were afraid they would let him go. My first thought is that it doesn't bring Summer back, but I still feel a relief."
My first thought was he almost got back to those fucking kids.
Yeah,
that's terrifying because he would get custody. Those are his kids.
Oh, OJ got to. Yeah. You're going to get him eventually.
Thank God.
So they said that a family member said, quote, "He showed as much emotion as he had through this entire time, which was nothing." So they were talking shit about him, obviously. Now, a friend of hers described the relationship between William and Summer as scary. They said still Summer gave him several chances to mend their crumbling marriage, and he just kept fucking up. And her friends described her as full of life and, quote, "like sunshine, flowers, and butterflies," and dead. And so, and then the jury got to go, "Yeah, fuck you," and the judge too. Now, June of 2012, still, Sandra, she pleads guilty to a murder charge with some sentencing agreements here. Now, the sentencing for her, this is rough because they have the court readings from the family are brutal on her. They said that the kid's Summer's mother wrote a letter to the court that's read where they said 6-year-old Alex has started to ask, how did mommy die? And when did she die? And all that sort of thing. Think about how sad the possible answers are. Daddy killed mommy. Daddy strangled mommy. Daddy and Pawpaw tortured and strangled mommy. Nana only drove the car, listened to the tortured screams, and watched mommy be buried in a septic tank. This is what she wrote in the letter. This was read out loud. Sorry, Alex, you will never have a mommy and daddy. Alex asks, when can I see Nana? Oh, I'm sorry, Alex, you'll never grow up with a Nana either. So, quote, how long will he cry about losing so many people he loves?
No doubt.
His grandparents, his mother, his father. He lost most of his family.
Fuck.
All these kids. And
to like
their fault.
To a cold, heartless shithead guy, that doesn't hurt near as bad as it hurts to a grandma who her motivation was these kids.
Shit, yeah.
And now the reality of how much you've destroyed their lives is going to set in.
Fuck them up good. So, this is read out loud here. Now, Sandy says she was crying in her statement, and she was crying so hard they said it was difficult to understand her.
Yeah.
She said, I'm so sorry. That was never supposed to happen. I loved Summer. She said that she believed that Summer's boyfriend was mistreating the children and that they were in danger. And she said, quote, that is what led to her lawyer said, quote, that is what led to her participation that evening, which went horribly awry. She never intended for harm to come to Summer. So the judge says, you, ma'am, may fuck off, sentenced to 15 years to life.
That's pretty tough.
In prison, 10 years for kidnapping, 3 years for tampering with evidence, and 1 year for gross abuse of a corpse.
And she's in her 50s.
And she's in her late 40s at this time. He ordered the sentences for the lesser crimes to run concurrent as the murder sentence rather than back to back. So she's eligible for parole in 15 years. So she's eligible soon for parole. Actually, this year she's eligible. This was 2004.
Wow.
So she's eligible for. Oh no, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ, 2004. This was 2011.
Yeah.
She's not eligible for parole till 2026.
She's got some time.
26. I don't know why I thought it was that.
I don't know.
So she's set there. William Sr. is now set for trial too, and he's not giving in.
Oh, he's panicking.
He's going to trial, and he's up for the death penalty.
Yeah.
Also, they also do a change of venue for him because this is a lot of publicity.
Yeah, it's too much.
A mother found in a church parking lot, septic tank. This is
pastor.
This is too much shit here. He gets moved to another county, and they do all of this. They get all the change of venue shit. Finally, February of 2013 is his trial.
Okay.
So a couple of years later, he wanted to take the stand. He said, and he ended up not taking the stand later. Now they brought up the Speckman, who was the officer who got the confession out of his wife that led to the recovery of Summer's body, and they tried to get him basically to elicit testimony regarding a portion of the statement that Sandra made to him in the interrogation room, wished to elicit a statement in which Sandra told Speckman that her son was solely responsible for strangling Summer with the zip tie, and that William was in the front seat and had nothing to do with it.
That's a good point.
He wants that introduced there. Now, the state was made aware of this and objected to it. They had a big discussion about it, and they tried to introduce it at trial and everything else. And the court did not permit this to be introduced because it's such a complicated hearsay law. It's it's very much. If it benefited, it's so hard to explain, man. I read for 10 pages on it.
But the part I'm having trouble with, whether or not that matters, is that even if your son is the one that's responsible, you're his dad.
And you were there.
Sitting right fucking there.
You could have said, hey, don't zip tie your fucking wife.
And while mom that's driving couldn't find the knife, did you have your feet up on the dash?
What I mean.
Help
look for that shit, asshole. That's so...
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't care if that matters. I don't care if that's introduced or not at this point. Just because your mouth and hands should still work.
Yeah, absolutely. But it turns out it was hearsay that was basically her defending herself and implicating somebody else, and it didn't have an original intent of anything with him, and so it's not allowable, even from a police officer, even if it's a statement on the record. Super fucking weird here. So, he ends up being convicted, obviously. So the sentencing comes around, and they hear testimony whether he should receive the death penalty or life in prison, obviously. And this guy, I want him...
He's a smug fuck, isn't he?
His sister, Tammy, took the stand to testify on his behalf to keep him from getting a death sentence. He told the jury that their father beat them as children, which makes no difference in kidnapping a woman. Also told the jury that William helped her battle her heroin addiction and is a good guy and got her off heroin.
Got Summer off heroin?
No, got his sister who's testifying. A psychologist also takes the stand for the defense. And he testifies that William's childhood changed him, and the beatings caused him to want to zip tie and kidnap women and dump them in a fucking septic tank. Jesus Christ. They also said that Sandra and William had a hard time conceiving. That's why they only have one kid. They wanted more. But they said, quote, Willie was a miracle, and which is why grandchildren were so precious to them, which is why they could do nothing else but kill a woman over them.
Well, your one kid turned out like shit.
Yeah, I would
Thank
fucking
God
say.
you don't have more.
So William's attorney says in a final statement, quote, if you vote to kill Bill Inman, it won't lessen the tragedy to any degree. If you vote to kill Bill Inman, it won't bring Summer back.
I don't know.
So a statement by Bill was read to the jury. He said, quote, I regret my actions. I can't undo what I've done. I'm sorry for the families that have lost. I'm sorry for my family and my grandfamily. I'm sorry. That's all he had to say. Following all of this here, the Summers parents wrote a letter that said, quote, you killed a sweet, loving 25-year-old mother of your grandchildren because she wouldn't stay. Which is bad. Summers' sister thanked the jury and then said, quote, Bill, you may never forget the light you took from this world, and may God's will be done. Which is some biblical shit on his ass.
Impressive.
Summers' brother also dressed Bill and called him a bully and not a man of God. And said, quote, you took away a beautiful soul with love and compassion and not a man of God. So take that. So the judge has all this to consider. And he says, you, sir, may fuck off. Life without parole.
Oh, damn it.
Life without parole.
I was hoping he was going to come in and go, like Tarantino, we're going to kill Bill 1 and 2.
Yeah, sorry, both of you. Just gone. I feel like it's one of those things where if Junior, who actually strangled her with a zip tie, doesn't get death, you can't give someone else who didn't physically participate
that's right.
death.
You got a good point.
Either both or none. You
in
can't
my head,
have.
I thought he had it.
Senior can't get death if Junior got life without parole.
Point.
That's my only thing there. Just for fairness terms. So the next week, out of all this,
I mean, eventually they will kill Bill.
They will kill Bill,
and they will kill Bill too.
Fuck, hope so. So the very next week after Dad is sentenced, William Jr. Willie is imprisoned at the Ross Correctional Institution in Chillicothe. He's put in a segregation unit as discipline after a shank is discovered inside of his cell that he made.
He's carrying shanks.
He's got a shank. They don't know why he had it, but they do say that William had sent a letter to his father during the trial in which he referred to having a shank.
What a dummy.
And then they searched his room, and guess what they found? A fucking shank.
He wrote to his dad, I has a shank.
I has a shank. Now, I love this, by the way. In this newspaper article about the shank, it says at the bottom of it, quote, the word shank, italicized, is commonly used as a prison slang to describe any homemade weapon behind bars. So in case anyone was curious about a shank in 2013, back when that was written, now they know.
Anybody hasn't seen a movie at all.
Yeah. So this is fucked up. I found this site that it looks like Summer's family helped put it up and gave a lot of pictures and all of this, and there's a lot of comments on it, and most of them are okay. And I found a real asshole comment, and I feel like this is like a problem when people act like this. This is what. This causes a lot of issues, and I want to fucking read this assholes thing just to say this person's an asshole and say that it's probably the opposite of this in case anybody's thinking this way. Quote, I don't think anyone is condoning what the Inmans did. I'm certainly not. First of all, when you start with that sentence, it's a little weird.
You're about to condone it.
However, the whole story, capitalized, of what happened is and needs to be exposed truthfully, as there are plenty of other women in similar situations hearing this story and reading this blog. Let's hope they don't read what this asshole's about to write. Yes, Summer had every right to want a divorce. She had every right to fall in love. But when someone is living in a violent, abusive atmosphere, you don't stoke the fires by running off with a boyfriend and then later posting the abuser's children sitting on the boyfriend's lap on Facebook. That was foolishly dangerous. That added fuel to the fire of an already highly contentious, nasty divorce, and it was maddening to the controlling abusers. The moment Will Inman threatened to kill Summer, her boyfriend, her knight in shining armor, needed to take Summer and the children to a domestic violence shelter, of which there are several in a surrounding area, where Summer and the children would have been protected throughout this horrible divorce.
Wow.
Then what? Then what? When it was all over, they're going to live in a fucking shelter for the rest of their lives? Their, quote, that's in quote for some reason, love life and future together needed to be put on hold until the courts made their decisions and and the children were safe.
You don't get to tell somebody how to grieve.
No.
You don't get to
do anything. Moving in together during doing the family pic on Facebook, wearing the I don't have an anger problem, I have an idiot problem shirt. Adam showing up at the Inman's house when she got her clothes, all in capital letters, would cause explosive reactions to, quote, and in capital letters, any person with a violent temper. No, any person who's a fucking lunatic. My heart goes out to Summer, her children, her family, her friends.
Doesn't.
No, this is what I mean.
You
Horse
don't
shit.
give a fuck
you
about
sandwiched
her.
in it. It's an asshole sandwich. But it's time that people put a Band-Aid over their bleeding hearts and stop pretending what Adam and Summer did was okay because they were in love. Quote, they deserve to be happy. This needed to be about Summer and the children's, capital letters, safety first. They, in quotes, were blatantly foolish and provoked 3 people with violent tempers, and sadly, it cost Summer her life.
Wow.
They made it sound like she was fucking walking around. She was going bear hunting. She's not Grizzly Man. That's what they made it sound like. She's poking bears all over the place. I said don't poke the bear as far as bring Adam there, but not in a way that, I guess if you get killed, you get killed at that point.
That's
Jesus.
the kind of guy that says, what was she wearing? What a dickhole.
Posted by Archie Bunker, I believe that
absolutely.
was. They basically said, don't wear that skirt to the biker bar, because if you get raped, you deserve it.
What are you doing?
That's what that said.
Why would you take
so stupid
fish into the bear cage?
People also have to control them fucking selves. Jesus Christ. So Sandra Inman, the mother, is currently serving 15 to life in Dayton Correctional Institution. Everybody else is serving life without, bitches.
Wow.
And that is a fucked up tale of Logan, Ohio, and the Inman family, and poor Summer Cook Inman. Jesus Christ, that poor girl.
She did marry him. My God.
Think about that.
Poor thing.
She's with that guy since high school.
Yeah.
High school. And, she probably thought everything was fine. Finally, in her 20s, she says, I want to have a life that doesn't involve this fucking loser and his weirdo family. And we're just not getting along anymore. Because from the time you're 15 to 25, maybe you'll fall out of love. You were a teenager when you met.
So sad.
I mean, it's fucking stupid. So, I mean, it happens, and then this whole thing evolves from it, and it's just sad. It's very fucking depressing.
Really depressing.
Very depressing. So, if you like this, if you dig this show and you like being depressed, please go to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, the purple icon, and also wherever else you listen to podcasts, and give us 5 stars. It helps us. It helps drive us up the charts, and, it's nice for us. We appreciate it.
We like hearing it.
And, it doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our egos, but it does help us on the business end. If you want to help even more, you can do that very easily. You can go to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes.
Where you can find all the merchandise, everything like that, all the information. You can follow us on social media, which is at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram.
Absolutely.
So that's excellent there. You can do all of that. Something else you can do, you can be one of our producers, one of our heroic heroes of the world, our producers who we can't thank enough for everything they do for us. You can do that very easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or going over to PayPal using our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. And you can find those links right on shutupandgivememurder.com. From there, do all of that. We appreciate everything you do. And Jimmy, saying that, I think you should tell me the people I appreciate right goddamn now. Jimmy, fucking zip tie me and throw me in the back of a Crown Vic with these names now.
This week's executive producers are Jeff Beck, Candace Kennedy, who donated both ways and then sent me birthday gifts.
That sounds so dirty.
I know. Yeah, both ways.
Thank you.
Thank you, Candace. I really appreciate it. DJ Wet, which sounds terrible also.
That's again sounds quite.
E-Bitch from P-Town, she donated both ways also. Paul Powell, Amy Conley, Ben Armstrong, Emily Mitchell, Cody Beretta, Britton Edwards, Katrina White, David Clark, Amy Spicer, Marianne Stumpf, Mary Price, Jacqueline McArdle, Brandon Wasco, Gary Laidlaw.
Oh, thank you.
Amy O'Hearn, Graham McGregor, and Candace Whittington. Thank you guys so much. You really you do such heavy lifting for us, and we can't do it without you. We can't do anything to tell you how much.
No,
we really appreciate it.
Thank you. This is a weak attempt.
Yeah, this is as futile as this is as much as we can do. Yet it's so futile.
Yep.
Cindy Harper, Caitlin Wilhelm, Justin Miller, who donate again. The guy he donates like 5 times a week because he listens to the show.
Yeah,
and donates a penny per minute,
which
is fucking great.
It's pretty cool. Thank you.
Lanny, is that Lanny? What did I do? Lanny Blunk? I think that's right.
Cool.
And this one is, okay, I'm going to do my best. Ksenia? No, it's got to be Ksenia. Ksenia Komarnajik.
Okay.
Komarnikaj. It's CKYJ. No, I'm never going to figure that. I'm a dummy. I didn't. Okay. Ksenia, I want to do it fast, and I'm never going to do it. Kelly Ingalls, Reagan Shalkley, Bree Ryan in Montana.
Hey,
thank you,
thanks,
Bree. Keith Cole, David Renazzi, Gary Howard came to Florida and brought
good to
us
see
stuff.
You, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
Man. Thanks for the Ron LaFleur pick. That was pretty dope.
Pretty dope.
Yeah.
Haley Marble, Rachel Stora, Daphne John Baptiste. Yes. Under the Sea Fabrics, Laura Souter, Robin Skelly, or Robin S. Kelly. Damn it. I think it's Skelly.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Skelly.
Shit. He's like, damn.
Demi Lemming. Is that right? Debbie N.G. Lenny. What did I do? God damn it. I think it's Debbie Lenny.
You are a disaster this week. Good Lord.
Heather Maleni, Paul Ruest again. Thanks, Paul. Amanda Burke, Kyle Donahue, Thomas Fryman, Jason Fuller coming through. My man, bringing the jerseys and everything. He's fantastic.
Definitely.
Rishi Deshpande. I think that's right. Thomas Ludwig, Janice Hill, Aaron Ishike. It's so many vowels. Jessica Jensen, Kyle Godert, Delaney Trotter, Nancy Graham, Jennifer Lamb, Thomas Smith, Lindsay Westcott, Wendy Dyes, Christopher Dobronsky, MPC. I don't know if it's a business. I don't know what that is.
Well,
Jessica Omert, Stephen Rude, Brittany Frers, Damon, no last name, Jesse Hartman, Sebastian Stumbo, or is it? Yeah, Stumbo. Winnie Rhea. I don't know if that's.
It's like a.
I think they're of the Dyer fortune.
Yes.
Mike Chapman, so. Robin Francis.
Looking for a way in there.
Susan Henkel, May Lee Elliott, Maggie L, Ruth Ejankowski. I was fucking
you were flying
close.
There.
I was. Chelsea Hansen, Mike Valdez, Jasmine Berninger, Kimberly Miller, Laura Yarnell, Mike Lee, James Martyr, who I found out that is his real name.
Oh, wow.
James Martyr, spelled like a martyr, which I thought was an ode to you.
Yeah.
Jonathan Wilder, Brent Borgers, Gina Ozuna, Roscoe Van Dam, Brandon Wasco. I already said his. He donated twice. Thank you, Brandon. Sachin Vats, all the way from New Delhi, which was fucking amazing.
Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Laura Sainer, Laura Sainer, Adam Gonzalez, Russell Tobler, Benjamin with no last name, Tess Devine. She's the one, I believe, who sent the masturbatory products.
Okay.
Which I don't know what to think. Gina Kudajarov, Thomas Slater, Nikki Linderholm, Neil Patel, George Cole, Debbie Winther Lemming. That's what it was. It was Debbie Lemming. That was the other one. She donated twice. Thank you, Debbie. Rebecca Lieber, Margaret Feinberg, Ben Larson, Nicole Chastain, Pete Oberhaus, Georgia Lilly, Alex Fuss, Ashley Vio, again, thank you. Chelsea Morgan, again, thank you. Troy Graham, Panhandle Games, which they play a game and then donate money of the winnings, which
That's
is
so
pretty
cool.
fucking fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Jennifer Mulder, Amanda with no last name, Sarah Urban, and Martina Liluwanga up in San Francisco, I believe, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much, Martina. Thank all of you for doing what you do. You do some really amazing work, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
We're so that's ridiculous. You guys are so fucking nice to us.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, it's for people to be nice to us is ridiculous, and for people to be that nice to us
doesn't make any goddamn sense.
To want us to have nice lives and be able to buy food and stuff. Thank you guys for that. We really goddamn appreciate that.
And thanks for coming to Florida this last week.
We forgot to mention Florida.
Great to meet you guys. It was great to have the show was incredible, and you guys we had an engagement.
That was so cool.
And a lady with a gun. It was nice.
We had an older lady who was packing heat, not in a bad way. She didn't whip it out. When she was hugging us afterwards.
She just told me to be gentle on that right side.
She's packing.
Don't shoot yourself in the foot, Jimmy.
Yeah. And which now, in retrospect, looking back on it, she was in the first row. If anybody tried to do anything to us, she would have shot the fuck out of them, and probably several other people in the room because it's dark and people aren't that good at shots.
Right.
But still, she might have wounded them also, and at least given us a heads up to run.
Absolutely.
So that would have been great.
Lay down some ground cover.
Yeah. Well, what if somebody wants to lay down some ground cover on you, Jimmy? Where can they reach you?
She's not on social media, so she won't be able to.
Damn it.
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And thank you guys for all the birthday wishes. That was a blast. That was a lot of fun. But just hearing from you guys is it makes this show really fucking rad. So thank you for being a part of it. Where can they find you to tell you all of that lovely stuff?
You can tell me anything you'd like to tell me over at Jimmy P is Funny, or copy and paste my name from the show description, because you're not going to spell my last name right, and you're just going to get frustrated, and you're going to go fuck Italians, and then you're going to hate a whole ethnicity for no reason just because my last name sucks. So find that over there and keep on doing that shit. And guys, we can't thank you enough for everything you do for us. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud. a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.